Jax, Marcel Robinson, the king of selfies. My original co-host, Brent Martineau, right now is on location getting some audio from the Fox Sports guys, so he'll be back momentarily. But we have a couple guests stopping by the booth today as well, including MMA legend, the American gangster himself, Chael Sonnen. And if Brent Martineau wants to take his time, just let me do that interview, hey, I'm not going to complain about that. But we'll see how it plays out. But like I said, we're in day 2 here in good old Miami. The weather's treating us very well. And last night, I mean, it was kind of the kickoff to the Super Bowl week, right, Marcel? It's
right.
You meet all the players and everything. They get the pomp and circumstance, all the introductions. And I'll be honest, man, I was excited because I had some former teammates playing. But what was supposed to be a night of getting interviews ended up, for me at least, from the Kansas City Chiefs side, it ended up being like a class reunion of 2013.
Yeah, I would say, much like the Senior Bowl, that last night was one of those nights where you were actually on camera being interviewed more than interviews that we did. I want to say, how many interviews we interviewed 4 people.
Yeah.
And you were interviewed at least 3 times.
At least 3 times. You can chalk it up to maybe 4. The last one that I did, and I kind of felt bad in retrospect now because I wasn't necessarily maybe the most polite
to
the lady. But what ended up happening was it was me. There was a volleyball player from UC Irvine, and then I think another athlete. And I didn't get to talk to her at all. I didn't know what sport she played. But they all kind of like wrangled us up, and then it must have been from like a Latin state, like a Latin news station.
It was.
She came up and high energy. Very, fun times. Well, keep in mind, I just got done interviewing, for like 3 hours, so I was kind of exhausted, but they want to know our thoughts on the halftime show. And obviously I was candid and I was honest, like I've always been honest here, Marcel, where I think they should bring out Rihanna, and it should be the Holy Trinity. We're talking Shakira, we're talking Rihanna, and we're talking J-Lo. It doesn't get any better than that. And the lady that was doing the interview was, a big fan of that. She's like, oh, yeah, Rihanna, good one. And then she proceeded to go, well, you guys are all athletes. Let's see your best Shakira hips don't lie shake. And at that point, I'm like, it's going to be a no for me.
Hard pass.
Like, I try to play along as much as possible, but I'm not going to be dancing and shaking my hips in front of thousands of people right now, especially after the night that I've had. So, no thank you.
I'm not going to lie. I think you should have did it. I think you should. I mean, you were, to be fair, last night, can honestly say, I think it was a bit of an eye-opening experience for you because you were, one, as much as you like to compliment on my alleged vanity, you were in front of the camera a lot more than behind last night.
I wasn't trying to seek it out, though.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
We did a lot of TV with your face on it.
We did.
So you kind of stepped out the box a little bit in
I
that
did.
aspect. So I think last night when she requested that you drop a little salsa dance right then and there, I mean, there was nothing but space and opportunity. You should have did it.
Nothing but space and opportunity, but at the same time, I can't reiterate it enough. I was tired. Was not really feeling the interview, and I'm not trying to come off across as mean. I didn't want to dance for anybody, man. I was not feeling it, and I think the girls that were getting interviewed next to me too, the volleyball player included, she wasn't feeling it either. So we're just like, well, we'll talk, but I'm not going to dance. But speaking of vanity, and then we'll start talking some football here. But speaking of vanity. My co-host right now, Marcel Robinson, who you guys know from Action Sports Jax. I mean, one could say that he's very active on the Instagrams. He's very active on the selfies, which is cool because I always tell him, like, look, man, I'm setting you up here though. Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead. What do you guys say?
I just want to say, first off, there is a very distinct difference between requesting someone take a picture of me somewhere that I want to remember versus me taking a selfie. I mean, if you go to my Instagram right now, out of my last 10 to 15 posts, I guarantee you maybe 3 of them might be pictures I've taken of myself.
Okay. So Marcel's trying to be an Instagram influencer, and that's cool. Okay? I respect that because you know what? He's being true to himself. And that's what I always say. As long as you're being true to yourself, if you like the selfies, if you like Instagram, man, more power to you because especially in this business, you got to be true, man, because there's cookie cutters all over the place. If you can stand out and just be yourself, I feel like you have the edge up, and that's why I respect Marcel Robinson. Now, with that being said, as we are entering the media night, we got into a bit of a debate about, just people taking selfies in front of the entrance and things like that. And Marcel was contemplating, should I take one, should I not take one? And I uttered the quote, you sound like an Instagram model right now.
Which I was joking, by the way.
Not sure if you're joking or not. Doesn't really matter for the story. I think you were serious, but that's okay. I see you trying to save face. But anyway, so I called you an Instagram model. And not even joking, on everything that I have, 3 seconds later, on the giant jumbotron of the entrance to get into the Marlins Stadium where the press conferences were taking place, on the giant jumbotron, who's on the jumbotron with a selfie with the tag of, Super Bowl LIV?
That'd be me.
No, none other than Marcel Robinson.
That'd be me. But to be fair, it was a pretty good picture.
Great picture.
And it's the only selfie I've taken all weekend.
Great picture. I was upset. I was proven wrong because here I am trying to make fun of you, and you're on the jumbotron. Brent Martineau got a picture of it. I'm sure he'll share that if he hasn't already on Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. So that's how we started off our night, and then obviously we got some great audio coming down the pipe today, tomorrow, the whole week. Well, like I said, it was kind of a class reunion for me, the 2013 class reunion. Talked to Travis Kelce a little bit. I had to come clean about some things. We finally made amends because if you guys don't know the story about Travis Kelce and myself, the last night I was in Kansas City before I got cut, we went out to this bar. And he obviously had VIP because, let's be honest, even though he was a rookie, he is Travis Kelce. And the guy likes to get after it a little bit. Not going to fault him for that.
Well, before you get to that part, is what we're going to do.
What do you got?
We're going to save the rest of the story for the tease.
I like that. Okay.
That's what we call a tease.
So a little spoiler alert. I come clean about something. We make amends, and we bury a hatchet, let's just say. How does that sound?
Bottom line is you've got some good karma coming your way.
I have some good karma coming my way regarding Travis Kelce. We'll have that audio later. Obviously stuff with Andy Reid as well. We caught up with Eric Fisher, my former teammate, offensive tackle from the Chiefs. I brought up me being, responsible for his welcome to the NFL moment where I put him on his back. We'll hear comments about that. May not have went the way I anticipated, but we'll get that audio later as well. And obviously Brent got a whole bunch of stuff. Well, more Jaguars later. Robert Saleh, former Jacksonville Jaguars coach, now defensive coordinator, with the 49ers. But we have a lot of audio, a lot of things to get into as well. And, when we started the show yesterday, Marcel, it was all about Kobe Bryant. Right. And we spent a good amount of time talking about the Black Mamba, obviously, and not only in basketball but out of basketball as well. And it was evident whether you're looking at the crowd last night that was watching the press conferences take place. You saw the Kobe jerseys, whether it was the reporters asking the Kobe Bryant questions. He was just he was alive and well, basically, in that stadium. They had a really touching and nice tribute to all the members that were involved in that helicopter crash. Really classy by the NFL, obviously. And, it's a story that's going to, kind of continue to try to transform a little bit, evolve. But it's really evident that the Kobe Bryant thing's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, it's, the reality of the situation is the world lost a legend, on the court, off the court, not just locally but globally. Obviously, last night at the opening night, they led off with an opening moment of silence for Kobe Bryant and had, in memoriam on the Jumbotron. And, of course, the chants of Kobe came afterwards, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter who you are, honestly. As far as, whether you're a fan, just the name Kobe Bryant just rings just in everyone's ears and in their hearts. Obviously, tonight, this – and we were talking about this before we came here, obviously in the hotel, that at some point, it's still very fresh. I know for me personally, when I hear – that, Kobe Bryant is no longer here or see, the memorials. It's still incredibly difficult for me and hard for me to believe. But in terms of the news cycle, at some point, it will sort of shift to a different vibe in terms of the story. And it hasn't necessarily seemed to be that way yet. I mean, obviously tributes are still going on, day in and day out. A lot of NBA players, news is coming out that they're, giving up their 8s and their 24 jerseys to informally retire in honor of Kobe Bryant. And the Lakers and Clippers were supposed to play tonight in Staples Center. Yeah. That game's been postponed. And, obviously the Lakers, I think, are hosting Portland scheduled to host Portland on Friday. But, yeah, just like you said, everything opening night, all the players, every player. George Kittle from San Francisco said that Kobe Bryant was one of the players that made him want to play sports. I think that's something that all those players from opening night that we interviewed, even for someone like me who basically grew up, as a Kobe Bryant fan, this one's tough. Yeah, I mean, this one's going to sting for a little bit.
And obviously, there's a lot going on here. We got a lot of football to talk about. I guess just kind of one last thing with the Kobe Bryant thing now going forward and try to move the conversation along. I've been on social media and everything, and the big thing now, it seems like there's petitions, to get Kobe Bryant to be the new official logo of the NBA, to replace the infamous Jerry West logo. And I just want to get some of your thoughts. How do you feel about the possibility of the NBA adopting that. Not saying that they have, but how do you feel about, like the public, outcry to say, let's change the Jerry West logo to the Kobe Bryant logo?
I don't know. Look, like I said, Kobe Bryant was probably my first actual real favorite player in terms of basketball. I grew up playing basketball. Basketball was the first game I learned to play, loved to play. But in terms of the actual changing of the logo to a Kobe Bryant emblem of some sort, the only reason I would say I'm not necessarily for it is just because I feel like it would set a bad precedent. We hope nothing like this ever happens again. But if this were to happen, say in 20 years to someone else, at that point your hands are kind of tied, and you would have to do the same sort of memorial for that particular person. And I think that's something that I don't think the NBA wants to get into. It's a great thought. I can understand completely why everyone wants to do it, to be completely honest with you. If there were some sort of way, not necessarily an alternate logo, but I would love to do something permanent to honor Kobe Bryant. But as far as changing the logo, I don't think that's the way to go just for that particular reason. And it's also kind of funny, like I've seen that a lot in terms of petitions. A lot of the people that are petitioning for Kobe Bryant to be the new logo are actually unaware that the logo is a representation of an NBA player. Like
Correct.
I see on Twitter, not many people know that that's actually Jerry West.
Correct.
So if you're finding ways to change the logo from one player to another, like I said, I just feel like it sets a bad precedent, and that you're kind of opening up a can of worms that could potentially be rocky later on down the line.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, and that's what and I think the biggest point is the fact that our generation's right. They don't know who Jerry West is, so there's no appreciation for it. But at the same time, I think like tradition obviously is big, not maybe as big as in basketball that is in baseball, but I think that the Jerry West logo is synonymous with that. And then you have to start asking the question. It's a horrible question to ask, but you got guys like LeBron James. Like if LeBron James retires, like what are you going to do for him then? So it just kind of goes on a long list of, okay, well if this player retires or something happens to this player, what do you do for him? So I understand everyone's heart's in the right spot. Right. In terms of changing the logo, I think it would be a great memoriam for Kobe Bryant. But I think the jersey's getting retired, the numbers getting retired, all that stuff. I think that's probably the classiest gesture you can actually think of. So, obviously Kobe Bryant's a guy that it's going to be sprinkled on our show probably throughout the week and everything. But let's be honest here, this is Super Bowl week. We're going to talk some football as well. But on top of football, when we come back on the show here, we're going to talk a little bit MMA with the guy by the name of Chael Sonnen. Any MMA fan should know who Chael Sonnen is, the American gangster. I like to call him the Conor McGregor before the Conor McGregor. He was the guy that kind of revolutionized the trash talk in MMA and everything like that. So when we come back on the show, hopefully we'll have Chael Sonnen here momentarily, and I'm a fan, man, so I can't wait for this interview.
I couldn't tell.
I know, right? You can't tell at all, right? I'm not just like I'm glowing or anything like that. And Brent Martineau will be back, too, from interviewing the Fox Sports News guys as well. So whole chock-full show today, man, we had to get to.
We've got a great show for everyone.
And then we obviously have football to talk about as well. And we got plenty of great interviews from last night, too, from some of my former teammates, including Travis Kelce. That, Chael Sonnen, football talk, everything when we come back on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny today, the afternoon high in the mid to upper 60s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, your local diamond store for 39 years in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Connecticut system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. And it even makes the coffee taste better. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Financing options available with approved credit. Call 904-694-2424. Tell them Brent sent you or visit cgcwater.com, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
The Players' Championship is partnered with UNF and FSCJ by creating scholarship endowments at each school. By the completion of the endowments, the Players will be the largest scholarship provider in the Jacksonville area. It's 41 days until the Players.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. They've dropped prices lower than ever. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's Ernie Palmer Toyota.
Now, the news and internet are blowing up about those do-it-yourself cameras being hacked, putting all consumers on edge. Children are being terrified while in their rooms, and mothers are being watched in their own homes, and family videos are actually being recorded and sold without the customers being aware or even compensated. These do-it-yourself doorbells are good ideas gone bad, and those stronger passwords they tell you to use, they're going to do very little to alleviate that problem. It's just plain cheap equipment lacking encryption. Don't fall for a false sense of security that can make your family less safe. SafeTouch has those cameras and video doorbells, but they are integrated into the security system. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is still the fastest way to receive emergency response. Combined with the halo of detection, your home and family can have true peace of mind when they have SafeTouch security. Now get yours by going to safetouch.com or call 888-723-8682. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years.
GALBA 0041888, SCBFS 12423, BAQ, EF 000233.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
A sewer troll? Like, where does that come from?
Well, Brent, you know, like trolls underneath the bridge. Well, imagine a troll that lives underneath a sewer. It's not good, okay? Yeah.
The Jags are a sewer troll.
And she's got a horrible personality as well.
I'm Kevin Hardy, former All-Pro linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
Welcome back to ESPN 690 with Action Sports Jacks. I'm Austin Lane. My co-host Brent Martineau is out gallivanting around Miami right now. He might be getting a nice, I don't know, some kind of Cuban sandwich or a nice coffee or something like that. That's okay, man. I'll hold down the fort. I'll do all the work myself. It's what I do, man. I'm a jack of all trades. And speaking of being the man, I'm joined by the American gang. Well, are you still the American gangster?
I still am the American.
It's still American, man. So I am joined by the American gangster, Chael Sonnen, former UFC fighter, former Bellator fighter, retired as of right now. We'll see how it plans out down the road, obviously. But Chael, thanks for joining us, man.
I got to tell you, you're kind of breaking the mold. I thought like football guys didn't have anything to say and they had no personality and they walked around like meatheads. I mean, you seem like a perfectly nice guy. What's going on here?
You know what? It's funny because I get that all the time, actually. I grew up in Wisconsin, kind of from a very vocal family, you know, like that. And I went to school at Murray State University for journalism and mass communications. I love to talk to people. I love sharing experiences. So I think that kind of had something to do with it a little bit.
That's wonderful. I mean, I meant it as a full compliment, but you are a very endearing guy. I must tell you.
I appreciate that very much, man. And I got to come clean about you now real quick,
right.
Okay? So obviously I currently do MMA. I'm a former football player. Now I'm chasing the MMA dream, trying to get to the UFC, trying to get to Bellator, something of that nature. And coming up, you know, watching the UFC, obviously I was a big fan, and I know who you were right away. And I'm reminded by Silva, Son, and One. When you guys fought for the first time, I'm reminded of Bisping and you, and I actually was cheering for Michael Bisping, which says a lot about what I thought about you at the time. Okay, but here's where I kind of stood. Okay, I considered you a guy who talked a lot of smack. And I consider you a guy who was arrogant and just this overall cocky guy, and obviously I had a preconceived notion of you. And obviously having a preconceived notion, I didn't do any research at all. I formed my opinion of you, didn't know your background. I'm like, I just don't like this guy. Fast forward to 2013, The Ultimate Fighter, Team Jones, Team Sonnen, right? I was cheering for John Jones, obviously. I was hoping he was going to knock you out. But there was a moment on that show that completely changed my mind about who you are as a person and what I thought about you. And that was when you were sitting down in a cage with a guy by the name of Uriah Hall, who at the time was a very promising fighter, still a great fighter till today. But, I mean, he had the highlight KO. He had that spinning back kick and everything. And you're talking to Uriah Hall about dealing with pressure, dealing with the fear of losing, and just, overall the mentality of fighting. And I remember you in that moment, you kind of revealed the curtain a little bit to someone who didn't really know your background. And you kind of pervaded, I don't want to put words in my mouth, but you kind of pervaded, if I'm not mistaken, like it's okay to embrace the fear. It's okay to embrace losing because it's always an option. The most important part is you have to kind of respond to that. And that's what I kind of garnered from you. So I gained a lot of respect from you that day. And it made me realize that what you were doing, you were a character. You were trying to build up fights. You were talking all this smack, the American gangster. So my question to you is, what was that transition like? To go from a guy who was just this wrestler and everything like that to the American gangster, to the guy that was selling out pay-per-views.
Well, there was a lot of compliments in there for me, so thank you for that.
You're welcome, man.
You followed my career, that really does mean a lot to me. I got to tell you, though, it is true. I mean, people will tell you losing's not an option. That's ridiculous. Losing's always an option. You can always opt to lose. I don't know where somebody came up with that or thought that was like some tough guy thing to say. It's an option, but it's a choice. And failure is a choice, but so success. And you got to choose it, and you got to make that path, and you got to work towards it every day. You bring up Uriah Hall specifically, but Uriah Hall was a very open guy, and he still is to this day, to say that he gets an anxiety and a fear about the result of the match. And with many athletes, we'll try to grab those guys and go, okay, hold on. Let's not think about the outcome, but let's focus on the performance. There's some things that you do well. There's some things that you've worked on. Let's make sure we keep those in mind, and let's just go do those things. If that doesn't work, that's not on you. That means your coaches came up with a bad strategy. I mean, right, it's a team effort. It's kind of one of those things. But you do have an obligation here, and your obligation is to go out and invoke this plan. Here's the plan. Do we all agree? Shake hands. Let's walk.
I like it, man. If we can get you to turn, I think your mic might be turned off a little bit, the volume on the side. Sorry, yeah, this is kind of my first time doing this stuff. I'll get it all set up here. There we go. I think we should be good there. Kuz, how's that, man? We better now? All right, fantastic. All right, we got you. So you mentioned it, though, and you brought this persona, the American gangster, and you, to me, you're the pioneer. You're the Conor McGregor before there was a Conor McGregor, right? And I honestly think that. Now, we have guys like Conor McGregor. We have the Colby Covingtons. And the way I see it in the landscape of MMA right now, I feel like the Conor McGregor type, or even like your type of talking the smack, I feel like it might be dying out a little bit with guys like Jorge Masvidal, with guys like Khabib, obviously now. The more humble approach, the more relatable approach. Do you feel like that entertainment kind of era of MMA is dying out a little bit now, or is that going to kind of last forever?
I think we're in the entertainment era right now. I think I helped to create the entertainment era, but I must tell you, I'm a hypocrite to that. I don't like the entertainment era. I like the competitive era. I like back when it was anybody, anywhere, anytime. You set the rules, let's shake hands and go, and the best man will win. I just personally appreciate that a little bit more. And let me tell you one thing about, because you bring up Khabib. One thing about Khabib, and one reason why that humble approach is working, is first off, it's authentic, and it's real, and it's not manufactured. And so many fighters want to go and try to be Floyd, or they want to go and try to be The Rock. Don't try to be the next Rock or be the next Floyd. Be the first you. And you're not a good actor, guys. So don't try to act. Take whoever you are. Feel free to turn the volume up a little bit, but be yourself. And one thing about Khabib, and one reason that gimmick, if you will, which isn't a gimmick, that's the real him.
Absolutely.
But one reason why that caught on so well is it made him different. So many guys were trying to be outlandish, say outlandish things, be disrespectful, thinking this was the secret recipe to success that they identified. When Khabib comes in and is humble and talks softly, what that did is it made him stand out. All of a sudden, he's the first guy who used manners, who used being polite. That was the George St. Pierre approach to things as well. Be a handsome guy with a smile on your face. Don't say anything bad about your opponent. Well, that's a way of being different when everybody else is saying terrible things and trying to, be the next bad guy or the next rough guy around the edges. So there's always a place for somebody to slide in, but you do need, from a marketing standpoint, to observe what's happening right now and find a way to be different.
Joined by Chael Sonnen from Arrow and the Bad Guy. You can catch him, is that every single day, right? On
every Wednesday.
ESPN. Every Wednesday on ESPN. You have your own podcast, too. It's called You're Welcome, I believe.
Right.
Talk about all the MMA. Sure, a lot of sweet stories from that as well. So you talked about it, being the bad guy, talking the smack. From your perspective, it's something you obviously had to learn. It's something you had to ingrain yourself. My question to you is, you had a fantastic fight career, assuming that it's over right now. We'll get to that later. But my question to you is, how much energy went into that? Like, were you worried about, man, I'm spending way too much time doing all this trash talk when I should just focusing on the task at hand?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's a balance there, but it did come from a perspective. I was trying to get things done, and one way to get things done in this business is to make headlines. The more headlines you get, the more fans that you can get. More you got to have what's called a mandate of the masses. So I was able to steer my own ship for the most part. I could call guys, okay, this is who I'm going to fight. I could get the promoters to agree with me instead of waiting for the promoters to call. Now, that's pretty simple and pretty basic. I don't want to add and make it sound like that was too sophisticated, but that was the strategy going into that, was to get attention, get this guy to respond, and get the favorable fight that I wanted, as opposed to taking a call and let it be somebody else's idea.
I like it. So from your perspective then, we talked about Jorge Masvidal, Khabib, and Dana White has been kind of echoing that, that Khabib-McGregor fight, that would be huge. It would be the biggest fight of all time. And to me, I see a guy like Jorge Masvidal, who, in my opinion, I'm not sure how you feel about it, is the second most popular fighter right now in MMA. Now, obviously, I'm in the States, maybe across the globe, that's different. But I think Jorge Masvidal is the second most popular fighter behind Conor McGregor. So if you have Conor McGregor and you have Jorge Masvidal, 1 and 2, you have the most popular fighters at 1 and 2 right now, and a chance for them to square off. Why don't you make that match? Because in combat sports, that hardly ever happens.
Right. Doesn't it seem to make a level of sense? I agree with you. These guys want to fight each other. Now they're in the same division, now that Conor's moved to welterweight. I mean, I agree with you. Now, the other side of it, and if you're Dana, you got to be a chess player, not a checkers player, you will burn a fight. Right now you can make Masvidal and Kamaru. You can make Conor and Khabib. If you go put Masvidal and Conor together, then you right, you're going to make one, you're going to cost yourself one. So it's one of those plays, but I do think if you get a calendar out and look at it, Conor and Khabib just doesn't work right now. Khabib already has his hands full with somebody named Tony Ferguson. Yeah. If we're to make believe that Khabib's going to win that fight, or even just take the gamble that Khabib is going to win that fight, he then goes into Ramadan. He's a Muslim athlete. He's not going to be available again until September. Nobody's going to get in the way of Ramadan, right? I mean, you're just not going to do that. That's without bad luck.
Yeah,
Nobody gets in the way when a guy says, I'm going
bad
into
juju,
Ramadan.
Man, bad juju.
You let him go into Ramadan. It's kind of one of these things. So I just don't. The calendar works out in conjunction with Conor coming out and saying it's Conor's season. I mean, one thing about Conor McGregor, you can have a lot of opinions on that guy, but one thing you have to give him, he's a man of his word. Conor says, I want to fight and I want to do it in 2 months. He wants to fight and he wants to do it in 2 months, and they're going to make a fight. And right now, I just don't know that Khabib matches up.
And one more UFC question. So obviously you mentioned Tony Ferguson, and I think it's wrong of Dana White to say we got Conor Khabib coming up because you're overlooking Tony Ferguson.
I agree.
And I think Tony Ferguson could be Khabib's toughest matchup for sure from a long shot. You have Tony Ferguson, who's this long, rangier fighter, implements all these crazy strikes and everything, and who is an absolute mastermind off his back, in that 10th planet style jiu-jitsu, where if he gets taken down, you're not worried about it. Elbows from the guard, whatever it's going to be. So if I'm, I'm not making any bets here, but if I'm looking at this fight, I'm trying to break this fight down, I like Tony Ferguson a lot, especially watching Ali Quinta kind of jab Khabib towards the later rounds. Tony Ferguson has a gas tank for absolute days. Why shouldn't I believe in Tony Ferguson right now?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I used to be teammates with Tony Ferguson. Just to disclose, I do have a bias there, but he's the hardest working fighter that I've ever laid eyes on. He would do the entire practices, then he would line guys up. He would stay in the middle. They'd rotate on him until they were tired and had to go home. And then when they did go home, he would go to the heavy bag until Mark Munoz used to literally turn the lights out in the gym on Tony. That was the only way to get him out of there, and he did this every single day. He kept to himself. He didn't say much. He wasn't a showman, but he worked his ass off, and all of us saw it. I'm just saying, I fully agree with you. To make believe it's a foregone conclusion that Khabib is the champion after April 18th, I think is a little bit of a stretch. It's not foregone, and you and I aren't the only ones with that opinion. Khabib has that opinion. Khabib came out and said, I haven't been that motivated lately. I am now motivated because now I have a real challenge in front of me, and Khabib's right.
So to shift from UFC to Bellator, another company that you're kind of synonymous with a little bit, your last fight against Machida, it is what it is. You kind of took off the gloves and said you were done. They always say Father Time's undefeated, and I understand that. And I also know how a fighter operates, and it's always that feeling of one more. Where you're sitting right now, Super Bowl weekend here chatting with me, I mean, are you still content with where you're at right now with retirement, or are you kind of like, man, if that one more presents itself, I'm thinking about taking it?
No, I'm definitely done. That one more would present itself, yes. I think I could send a text message and get that one more. But, no, I don't have an interest in fighting anymore, but I do have an interest in the sport of fighting, watching other guys, covering other guys, visiting with guys like you, sharing opinions. I look forward to your career, by the way.
I appreciate it.
You said you were looking to go to the UFC or Bellator. I think that's very realistic just by sitting and being here with you. I will tell you, I'm very content with that. Yeah, I'm happy with it. And that wasn't always the answer. I mean, I had a couple of hard months there when it was done where you kind of wake up and go, well, what's my purpose? What do I do? I always, every day I woke up and I had a goal and I knew how to help make little steps to achieve that goal. Now, I don't have any goals. What do I do right now? And that was tough for a couple of months to figure out, what do I do with my time? I had about 4 or 5 hours a day every day that was dedicated to that sport, whether it was drive time to the gym or, shower and visit and cool down with the guys time, whatever it was. 4 or 5 hours, though, I got to find something to do. I have found those things, though, to do. I do fill up my days now quite nicely, and quite frankly, I do enjoy retirement.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of problems that are occurring in the NFL right now are guys that, let's be honest, in the NFL especially, you don't get to go on your own terms usually. I mean, unless you're like a Tom Brady, unless you're like a Eli Manning. Yep. But 99% of those guys on that football field, they get told they're not good enough anymore, and it's like, all right, we'll see you later. We're done with you. And those guys have problems, transitioning, finding new things to explore. What is, I guess, the biggest piece of advice that you could give them? Because you're a guy, too. Like you said, you're trying to find that void to fill a little bit because you had so much time in your free hands. What advice would you offer to NFL players, I guess any professional athlete, transitioning to a new career?
Yeah, well, and you are right about that. And look, it's very true that you are never done with this business. But you will wake up one day, and this business is going to be done with you. And that's just a very real thing. So you try to enjoy the good memories. If you can go out on your own terms, like the Mannings and the Bradys and the Joe Montanas, which is a very rare thing to do. In my sport, the Lennox Lewis and the George St. Pierre's, and I don't think I could name a number 3. I mean, nobody goes out the way they want to go out. We all go out the same way, which is flat on our back and embarrassed. I mean, but that's the way that this business is. It's a very rough business. And I would just share with you, to make sure you can move on, some guys in my life that I always thought were kind of weird is when I was in high school, it was my time. I was in high school. I go to the football games and enjoy it. And some guy that had graduated 2 or 3 years before me, or, out of school, would show up to the game wearing his Letterman's jacket. I always thought those guys were kind of weird. I had buddies in college, and, they got like a tattoo of our college mascot or something on their shoulder. Go, man, that's cool for right now.
Yeah.
Make sure you can turn the page. Make sure you're not locked in anything. Wear that Letterman's jacket. Put it away the second you graduate. Though. You've got to be able to move on in life, and there's other things to do, and you will lose that. I mean, the world's a big place, and there's a lot of cracks. It is easy to get stuck in them. It's very real. Nobody's really going to cry for an athlete because his career ended and he doesn't get to play a game anymore and get a bunch of attention. That's true. No one's going to cry. But that athlete's still a human being, and it's the only life that he knew, and it is a little bit tough for him. And
it's funny you bring up, like we're in the Letterman jacket and stuff. I'm reminded of a story when I was in high school. I wanted to get my high school I want to get number 88. That's what I was in football. I was 88. Wanted to get that tattooed right on my arm, man. Like, show it loud and proud, number 88. I was a wide receiver. And the tattoo artist was like, absolutely not.
You don't want
because 5 years down the line, you're going to regret it. Needless to say, I played defensive line at Murray State University. Went to college, number 97. The 88 wouldn't have looked good, so I can definitely relate to that.
Right?
I can definitely relate to that as well. But let's get to a reason why you're here, man. And you're promoting Bellator, your first time on Super Bowl Radio Row here. You're taking it all in. But we're talking about Bellator, and I think Bellator is a company who's come up out of the dust a little bit, and it's kind of put the UFC on notice. I mean, the last pay-per-view that took place, Julia Budd, Chris Cyborg, thought it was a great fight, and Bellator, they have some rising stars coming up now, and they also have some seasoned vets as well.
Oh, they most certainly do. Look, Bellator does great numbers. I was at Bellator last week, and they did a $2 million gate sold-out house at the Forum. I was at the UFC the week before that, $10 million gate sold-out house at T-Mobile. I know that people say competition is good, and I know people believe largely that the UFC and Bellator are competing. I don't know in practice how literal or true that statement is, only because unless you're going head-to-head on the same dates at the same time looking for the same audience to pick one channel or the other, I'm not sure about that. Look, when I walk into a store, Coke and Pepsi are now competing.
Sure.
I'm going to grab one or the other, and I'm only going to grab one of them. I'm going to walk up and pay my 60 cents. I'm not positive how much Bellator and UFC is competing as much as they're operating in the same space. I think they do compete over talent. That's good for the talent. I think that they do compete over athletes. That's good for the athletes. As far as them, it really looks like they've both found their own platforms, their own fan bases. I know that a lot of that is sharing, but you can share when you're not head-to-head on the same night.
From your opinion, too, because I get it. The UFC, it's the UFC, right? It's the prestige. It's the pomp and circumstance. It's the elite of the elite.
For sure.
Do you feel that, though, because now, obviously, because you're still prize fighters, though, right? I mean, I'm a prize fighter, so it's about making the money as well. And in terms of making the money, one could say, well, maybe you have a better future in Bellator. Maybe you have a better future, fighting overseas and things like that. So from your perspective, I mean, does the UFC still carry that prestige, that pomp and circumstance, or is it more about now, making your money, getting in, getting out, and trying to be healthy?
I think the UFC still does have a level of prestige in that a guy wants to touch down there at some point. He does want to be able to say I was a UFC veteran, and they do seem to have a mystique that their champion is better than somebody else's champion. I love what you're saying about the money, and an athlete has to be able to weigh that. The PFL is up and doing very well. ONE FC is happening in Asia, and they're doing very well. I don't know that financially speaking there's ever been a better time to be an athlete in mixed martial arts. There's just a lot of opportunity out there right now. When I got into it, minimum contract in the UFC was 2-2, which meant $2,000 a show and $2,000 to win. Oh, my God. I was so happy. I was the richest guy in the world when I got that $2,000 check. Their minimum contract now is 10-10. Somebody just said they upped that to 12-12. I mean, you're talking about a 600% increase over 20 years. Come on, I don't know of any business in the world that can brag about those kind of numbers, on the bottom end. I don't think anybody has gone up that much. So it is a very, very real thing that you are going to have to choose. And I think also you would serve yourself best to show a level of loyalty, to not be in Bellator having UFC envy, not be in the UFC and be making threats that I'm going to go to Bellator. Let your promoter know that you're here. They can trust you. You're a team player. Feel free to build me because I'm going to stick around for your ROI. You will get it back.
Yeah. So I'm not keeping too much longer here, but we're at the Super Bowl here. I have to get your Super Bowl prediction, number one. Number two, are you a big football guy? Man, I know you went to Oregon. I'm not sure how Oregon was as a football team when you were there. Not sure if you're a big fan of them, but who are some of your teams and who are you looking for this to win this weekend?
You know what? The Ducks were great when I was there. We had Joey Harrington.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He was up for the Heisman.
Yeah.
I think he was up for it.
Yeah.
We ended up second in the country while I was there. So football was a very big deal. And, a lot of fun and a lot of energy. The game itself, for me, moves a little bit slow in all fairness, right? Sure. There's 7 minutes of action over 4 hours. The other side of it is the experience and the environment that only football can bring. You even look at college, they've got something called tailgating. I was an amateur wrestler. Nobody ever thought of showing to an event early and having a barbecue and some drinks and a motorhome. I mean, this wasn't even talked about. Football and the phenomenon of football, the idea of football, the experience of football, they have done such a good job. Football deserves so much credit, and I assume that starts with the leadership on down to the players, the rules and the referees, and now they're starting to do things with helmets and CTE. They're giving a good look at this stuff. They've changed some of the rules and the tackling rules all the way down to Little League guys that are playing at 9 and 10 years old. I think football deserves a lot of credit, and the experience is undeniable.
One last question. You mentioned college wrestling real quick. You're like an ambassador, man, for obviously the transition from college wrestling to MMA, but you're just an ambassador, I feel like, for college wrestling. And how proud are you right now as you sit here of how far college wrestling has come? I mean, I was watching the Big Ten Network last night. They had 3 different, meets on, basically. I mean, it seems like wherever you turn on a channel, there's college wrestling on. How proud are you of that?
Oh, thank goodness to the Big Ten Network. I mean, they've helped us so much. We now have college wrestling matches that are selling out, if you can believe it. Now, that's rare. Minnesota will do that. Penn State will do that.
I think Iowa had a big one.
Iowa will pack the house. Oklahoma State still does very well. Maybe not sell us, but the point is that is remarkable. And now you're talking about being on the Big Ten Network. FS1 was carrying the Arizona State-Ohio State duel a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know about it. Thank goodness I got a text message. I got to turn it on with my son. I mean, it was a real treat. There's not a lot of times you can turn on your television and see it. Flow Wrestling's done a great job exposing us all to international talent and overseas competitions. Never been an easier time to be a wrestling fan, and that's saying a lot. Wrestling is one of these things you have to care about and do your research on to be able to keep up with. So I appreciate you giving it a shout-out. Thank you.
Without a doubt, man. We appreciate you coming by here. We won't take up any more of your time. I know you've probably got a busy schedule ahead of you, man.
Well, I've had it with you anyway.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. One last question. Who's winning, the Chiefs or the 49ers?
No, 49ers. Come on.
49ers, okay.
Look, and you're too young to know this, but there was once a year called 1987, and the coolest
That's
man
when I was
alive
born.
was called Joe Montana.
Okay.
I'm riding with Joe.
All right, sounds like a plan, dude. Thanks for stopping by. All right, we got more coming up from the Super Bowl media party when we get back on ESPN 690 and Action Sports. Jax.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. During his time in the NBA, AI had some of the best handles in the game. But it appears in retirement, he gives up steals easier. Philly police are looking for a man who stole a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry that belonged to Allen Iverson, reportedly. In other news, for some reason, Allen Iverson carries a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry in it. The Super Bowl held opening ceremonies last night, introducing the two teams. Here's Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce on what makes quarterback Patrick Mahomes so special.
Just overall, his ability to read coverages, have a plan on where to go. His preparation has gone to a whole nother level. He's able to put the ball, his ball placement is through the roof.
Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Are you over hearing about the new year? Then what do you say instead of joining the new bandwagon, we go used? And that starts by saving big on a used car at Arlington Toyota. At Arlington, you have over 400 pre-owned to choose from on the lot every day, and 60 vehicles are priced under $12,000. With every purchase at Arlington, you join the Arlington $5,000 Advantage Club. It's filled with savings, benefits, and rewards to take your Arlington purchase to the next level. Buying pre-owned at Arlington means big-time selection and the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club. Plus, you get top dollar for your trade-in. Even same model year cars, trucks, and SUVs. So what are you waiting for? This new year, go used at Arlington Toyota. Your free pre-check service powered by required. Make 2020 the best used year yet when you shop and save at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Ironically, my health and fitness business was feeling slow and out of shape. That's why I booked space at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. The Jack's Health and Fitness Expo draws thousands of health and fitness conscious people looking for ways to enhance their health. That's just the type of customer my business needs to get back in the game. Give your business a boost and book your sponsorship now at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJax.com. 245-8596 or BeHealthyJax.com.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com. Looking for a different lunch experience? Come dine with us on Fridays at Clara's at the Cathedral, located at 256 East Church from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Treat yourself weekly to an upscale menu, live entertainment, and fellowship with friends and colleagues you don't want to miss. Call and reserve your seat or table today at 354-4162 or log on to clarawhitemission.org. All proceeds benefit the Clara White Mission.
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we can have and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Auto accidents are tough enough, but can be downright scary if the other car leaves the scene before the police arrive. You may still be able to make a claim if there's available uninsured motorist coverage. Call us to help ease the fear and help you present your claim. Call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation. That's 904-600-4000.
Office in Jacksonville.
Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza. Want a fresh one? Renna's has fresh ingredients, fresh food throughout the menu, and the pizza is so fresh and so good. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Renna's Pizza. We know we'll eat well, and we were at the Neptune Beach location recently. Perfect setting to hang out, eat, drink, and watch the games on TV. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. Now through the end of the month, Ernie Palmer Toyota has dropped prices even lower on all of our big deals. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's right, up to $500. See dealer for details. Ends 2/3/20.
Now, the news and internet are blowing up about those do-it-yourself cameras being hacked, putting all consumers on edge. Children are being terrified while in their rooms, and mothers are being watched in their own homes, and family videos are actually being recorded and sold without the customers being aware or even compensated. These do-it-yourself doorbells are good ideas gone bad, and those stronger passwords they tell you to use, they're going to do very little to alleviate that problem. It's just plain cheap equipment lacking encryption. Don't fall for a false sense of security that can make your family less safe. SafeTouch has those cameras and video doorbells, but they are integrated into the security system. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is still the fastest way to receive emergency response. Combined with the halo of detection, your home and family can have true peace of mind when they have SafeTouch security. Now get yours by going to safetouch.com or call 888-723-8682. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years.
GALVA 0041888, SCBFS 12423, BAQ, EF 000233.
Action Sports Jacks hits South Beach. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. The biggest day in sports is Sunday, and the party is all week long in Miami. ESPN 690 is live from Radio Row daily with interviews and analysis, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Jags players, former and current NFL players, stars from the entertainment world. Listen on ESPN 690 in your car, on ESPN690.com at work, and you can watch the shows on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Action Sports Jacks in South Beach all week on ESPN 690.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the iHeartRadio app.
You know, he was a friend of mine. He was a mentor. He meant a lot to this world, and he made a positive impact. And there's nothing that I can say to really quantify his impact on myself and on others. I just know how he would have, wanted me to take this and to react, especially in this moment in this game. I was really sad yesterday, and I was sad this morning. I was kind of down. I mean, he would tell me stop being a baby and man up and play it and do it in his honor and win this game for him, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Well, that's Richard Sherman talking about the late Kobe Bryant, of course, and so many people continue to weigh in on Kobe Bryant and the passing of. We just got done with a bunch of interviews with the Fox Network folks. Obviously, that was a topic. Terry Bradshaw, very eloquent on Kobe Bryant and put things in perspective. You'll hear some of that throughout the rest of the week, maybe even a little bit later today. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson here at Super Bowl 54 in South Florida. Koo's back in the studio. Thanks for getting through the first half hour. We had a little collision of times with the Fox Sports folks, but I'll tell you what, it was worth it. Joe Buck was fantastic. I asked him about his St. Louis Rams moving a couple of times as a kid and how that stung. Well, not just as a kid, because it was a little bit later on, too. And he talked about fandom and winning in the NFL and the marriage between that. Really good perspective on the Oakland Raiders moving recently and also the Jacksonville Jaguars with all this London talk of a couple of games. So not necessarily moving, but a couple of home games potentially taken away from Jaguars fans. We'll discuss that. We caught up with a little bit of Gronk right at the end. Jay Glazer, a guy you know very well and knows that MMA stuff really well, who, by the way, also had some big thoughts off camera for Donovan Darius. He knows Donovan Darius very well back in the day when he was training for MMA and was doing some of the stuff with Donovan. We also caught up with Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long on Tony Baselli, Jimmy Johnson as well. So all of those guys coming up in just a little bit. One of my favorite parts, I was just telling Stuart, I'm a sucker for that stuff here at Super Bowl week. I like, because you don't always catch up with those guys. CBS does it, NBC does it, Fox does it. And we catch up with the NFL Network guys at more events because they're at the draft or they're at the Super Bowl. But it was really good to catch up with some of the Fox guys and people see them and hear them all the time, but to get them on a Jags angle, because on those national shows, they don't really talk about the Jags, let's be honest.
Sure.
And so I asked Terry Bradshaw, Minshew or Foles? And you'll want to hear that answer coming up this week some of our conversations. It was pretty funny stuff, as always, with Terry Bradshaw. I do remember getting Bradshaw, I think, at Minnesota. A funny story about Bradshaw, he was sitting, like, the tables were just like this, but it was really crammed in at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so Bradshaw, he was waiting to do another interview. And I was at a table like this, and he was like, "Can I sit right here?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, you got a couple minutes to do an interview?" So we got him right here.
I like
He's basically just waiting and sitting.
How convenient, man.
Oh, yeah, he's tremendous.
Doesn't get easier than that because it can be difficult to bring some of these celebrities over here for an interview.
Yeah, he was fantastic. So, by the way, did you feel the earthquake?
I didn't feel the earthquake. I got a lot of text messages about it. I did not feel it.
Apparently, there was an earthquake in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, and it could be felt at least in some parts of Miami. Magnitude of a 7+. Wow, that's a big one.
Wow.
In Jamaica. And the islands have really been feeling it lately in terms of the earthquakes, and Puerto Rico especially. So there were some folks in Miami. In fact, a building or two were evacuated, from what I understand, because of the shaking. So we did not, just to be honest, we did not feel it here.
I didn't feel anything, yeah.
And we were just doing those interviews, and I just saw that coming out of there. So, we're not joking, but we're saying it was just Gronk dancing that we felt he was doing a little Mexican salsa. Yeah. What's that called? Can you just say salsa? It doesn't have to be a Mexican salsa, right?
Like salsa dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think.
Is there a difference between like a Mexican salsa, Spanish salsa, is there?
Yeah. I mean, we're probably crossing some lines right now.
I
mean,
I don't
I'm just messing. But there's salsa that you get like at a Tex-Mex spot.
I'm talking about dancing.
The dancing, yeah. I mean, I think it's just salsa dancing. Yeah, it's just salsa dancing, and then there's what do you call it? You call it flamenco dancing? That's along the Spanish. Is that Spanish too as well, Stuart? Yeah, Hispanic. Okay, good.
All right.
Dude, look at me, man. All cultured. Yeah, very broad.
Every time I say something, you try to say I'm crossing some line.
Well, I'm just
talking about dancing.
Brent, 2020. You have to mind your P's and Q's more than ever. Let's be honest.
All right, so welcome back here to Super Bowl 54. You guys talked a little bit about opening night last night, so we'll get all the interviews ahead of everything going on. One topic I wanted to get into real quick. What about the Phillip Rivers stuff out in L.A.? Everybody's talking about the Patriots and Tom Brady, and rightfully so. But where is Phillip Rivers' career? I mean, talk about a crossroads. Does anybody want him? He's never been able to win. So does that steer teams away from him, even though he's super gifted and probably still has a little something in the tank? And the way Brady and Breeze have played over these last few years in their elder years, I mean, you'd say, Rivers might not be done. But then there's Eli Manning, who looked like he was starting to fade. So he's 38. Mm-hmm. Is he done? Should he be done? Should he give it another go? Is there a team that could utilize him?
I mean, so here's the thing, and it depends what Phillip Rivers is looking for. Because, number one, Phillip Rivers is never going to play a backup quarterback role, I believe. I think he's in it for the starting gig. And if you analyze the league right now, and you look at teams like the Colts, possibly the Titans, the Buccaneers perhaps, like teams that seem to be built pretty well, but can't really afford that rookie quarterback to try to, buy him a couple years. You want a quarterback that can kind of come in right now and perform up to like an all-pro kind of level, or at least a Pro Bowl type of level. Phillip Rivers could be that type of guy. So I think the market for Phillip Rivers, I think it could be, pretty vast, truth be told. And I think it just comes down to, is it going to be the long-term or a short-term deal? I mean, if I'm a team, I'd probably only bring him in for a year and then go from there. To me, it's hard to try to sign Phillip Rivers to a long-term deal, especially after last season. I get it. He tore the Jaguars apart, but let's be honest, a lot of quarterbacks did. And it makes you wonder how much he really does have left in the tank. So I can see a team definitely doing a one-year deal, but probably nothing more than that.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused on him, too, to be honest with you, because I just think he needs a lot of help. The more and more you look at everybody in this NFL, the Brady struggled this year, right? Eli Manning was struggling toward the end here. Phillip Rivers was not great this year, declining. Those are not mobile quarterbacks. Those are statue quarterbacks. They can't move. Even Drew Brees has a little bit of elusiveness, at 41 years old. And you need to be able to wiggle, at least. And those guys don't wiggle very well. So they have to really beat you with their smarts. And I think that's getting tougher and tougher to do, especially when your arm strength starts to go. The thing that separates Brady, I believe, is still he's got his fastball. So he has fastball. He's going to be able to create things. I would be very hesitant if I was a team. I don't know if I'd be that excited if I was Indianapolis, if I was Tennessee, if I was in Jacksonville, right? Which I am. and they had an opportunity to get Rivers. Well, I don't know if I'd be that excited about it.
And keep in mind, Phillip Rivers' regression occurred when Melvin Gordon came back. For whatever reason, they tried to give him the ball too much. Austin Eckler was kind of an afterthought, and it felt like the offense got jumbled up a little bit. But if you have Keenan Allen, if you have Hunter Henry, if you have Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon, and you have a Mike Williams to take the top off of the deep threat, you have a lot of weapons at your disposal. And the fact that Phillip Rivers couldn't really do well with those weapons, it could maybe kind of prove that maybe the guy's got, maybe very few left in the tank.
Hey, we're going a little Jags flavor here at Super Bowl 54. DJ Chark coming up next, fresh off that Pro Bowl appearance, scoring a touchdown and a sensational sophomore season. DJ Chark up next, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, live from Super Bowl 54. Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martin of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
2020 models are on the lot at Arlington Toyota. And if you want to get behind the wheel of one today without buying, then all you need to do is rent a Toyota. Yes, rent from Arlington Toyota. Toyota Rent-A-Car is the best way to try it before you buy it. And renting from Arlington Toyota puts you behind the wheel fast and easy. So if you've got a road trip coming up, long weekend with friends, or maybe you just want to try out all the new 2020 bells and whistles, Toyota Rent-A-Car at Arlington Toyota has just what you need. With an amazing selection of 2020 Toyotas that are ready to hit the road today. Everything about renting a Toyota from Arlington Toyota is easy. They've got amazing 2020 models, simple online reservations, and their staff is always eager to help. 2020 models are ready to go. So if you've got a new 2020 ride on your mind, why not try it before you buy it with a Toyota Rent-A-Car from Arlington Toyota? Just visit arlingtontoyota.com. That's arlingtontoyota.com and get your online reservation started today.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Pros like you start with Lowe's to help take you and your business to the next level every day, and at the right prices, too. Stop in today and check out our selection of Little Giant ladders, including the Little Giant King Combo ladder. It's the world's first step, extension, and leaning ladder for only $159. An all-in-one ladder that lightens your load and makes it easier to get any job done faster. Speaking of fast, need supplies in a pinch? Order online at lowesforpros.com and we'll have your order ready for pickup at the Pro Desk. For this job and every job after, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo will not play tonight against the Wizards because of a sore shoulder. Another first for Zion Williamson, the first overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft. Tonight, the Pelican superstar plays in the first road game of his career against the Cavaliers. Plenty to like about Zion's game, but needs improvement in one area, believes former NBA player Damon Jones.
He's athletic, guy that's running the floor. He could push the basketball on the dribble. One thing that I do have a problem with is right now he's not making his free throws. Okay. And to be as athletic as he is, and a guy that's going to have to finish at the rim, he's going to have to be able to make free throws.
The LA County Medical Examiner said today all 9 bodies in the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others have been recovered from the crash site. NFL Texans officially named Coach Bill O'Brien their GM, citing a desire to more accurately reflect how they've been operating the last 8 months. He did not officially have a GM this past season.
You love iced tea. It's smooth and refreshing with just the right flavor. You also love to be a little twisted. That's why Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea has everything you love. Because it's made with real brewed tea and a kick. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Be a little twisted. Drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
They have a hell of an offense. They really do. And so it's it'll be a great battle Sunday. We don't really worry about if we're not getting enough love or anything like that. We go out there Sunday, let our play do the talking.
That's Jimmy Garoppolo from the San Francisco 49ers talking about this football game coming up on Sunday. Of course, we'll talk a lot more about it. Always interesting covering the Super Bowl with 2 teams that don't have a lot of Jags flavor with them. We caught up with some yesterday, but they play minimal roles on that football team to a degree. Again, former linebacker coach Robert Saleh will play a big role in this football game, but he's the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll talk more about the game as the week goes along. We'll talk more to the players, and we did catch up with Chad Henne and others yesterday at opening night, former Jags, who were in Jacksonville for a bit, had some very good things to say about their time there, and now are playing for a Lombardi Trophy and a Super Bowl ring. Brent Martineau, former Jags player Austin Lane, here at Super Bowl 54 in Miami. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. By the way, we have our Renna's Pizza Big Game Party giveaway coming up this week. We want you to be a part of it. Along with ESPN 690, we're looking for a 30-second commercial. You can leave it on the social channels of ESPN 690 or call ** 690. Leave it there. Austin is delivering on Sunday if you win. Keywords you have to have in your commercial about your party on Sunday. You have to include Renna's, ESPN 690, and Pizza Party. That's it. 4 different words.
Brent, and there's no mountain I won't climb. There's no road I won't travel to get you that pizza hot, fresh, and on time.
All right, so we have until Friday to collect all those. Make sure you're doing some work. Have some fun with it. We'll pick a winner on Friday here from Super Bowl 54. Right now, a big winner on Sunday in the Pro Bowl in Orlando was DJ Chark, the Jaguars wide receiver, coming off a sensational second year in the NFL. He was fantastic, and then had a big moment in the Pro Bowl as well with a touchdown catch of 60 yards. And he joins us right now via the telephone here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. DJ, thanks for taking a couple minutes, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Hey, awesome to see you guys out there on Sunday, and I would say the Jags did well. Calais Campbell, defensive MVP for the AFC. Josh Allen did his thing with a sack and a blocked extra point, and you got in the scoring column. How cool is it not only to play in that game, but then contribute and let everybody who was watching you around the country in that game celebrate with you?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Being out there was definitely a great experience. I'm humbled to be able to experience that in my second year. As well as Josh, I know Josh in his first year, that's amazing. And to go there with Calais, who's been there numerous times, he kind of had to show us the ropes. But I had fun. Everybody was really great people, and being on the field, being able to score a touchdown, that's something that I'm going to remember. My family going to remember. Then getting to celebrate with my teammates, that was great.
DJ Chark with us. We're down in Miami, South Florida at Super Bowl 54. DJ coming off that Pro Bowl in Orlando. It's been a busy couple of weeks. And DJ, when the season's going on, you're just grinding, man. You're a guy that takes everything one day at a time. We get it. That's how it works. That's how it should be in that mentality. But did last week at the Pro Bowl, when you're around all those players and you play Sunday and you're talking to those folks, and then maybe even the couple of weeks off after the season, did it put in perspective what you accomplished in 2019? I know it wasn't a banner year for the football team in terms of wins and losses, but it was a coming out party for you as a professional football player, professional wide receiver. Did you have time to put that in perspective at all in the last few weeks?
I think hearing Michael Vick speak to us and telling us, he made it to the Pro Bowl, I think, 3 or 4 times. And Michael Vick, to me, was, huge growing up. And, you would think he'd be in the Pro Bowl 10, 11, 12 times. And that just showed me that, you can't take that for granted. Like, making it to the Pro Bowl, you really have to do something special to be considered. I was able to play in my first one with guys who I've been seeing ball for 6 years now, who we both making our first appearance, and it's just very humbling. It made me realize that I was able to achieve something on an individual level, but, this game coming up is an even bigger game, so it still gives you something to work forward to, and being able to experience that with your teammates that you're working with every day, all year. That's my next goal. I really want to be able to achieve something big with this team.
Hey, what's up, DJ? Austin Lane here. And back when I used to play, and I'm sure you still hear it to this day, when you go from your rookie year into your second year, you make the biggest leap. You make the biggest stride. And I think you showed that, obviously, this season, making your first Pro Bowl, and hopefully there's many more to come. My first question to you is, what was that stride like? What was that transition like to go from a rookie where you're just trying to learn the game, obviously, and then going into the offseason this past year, and now you're kind of equating to the NFL a little bit, and now you can kind of focus on what you need to do. What was that progression like?
For me, that first year, it was my first time living out of the state of Louisiana, being on my own, finding what works for me. But the second year, after being through it, I was able to get help, supporting help in place, taking my studies more serious from when I go to bed to when I wake up in the morning, being in practice on time, actually getting treatment, actually learning defenses, things like that really helped me out this year. And taking it one day at a time, instead of, just worrying about game day, trying to master the game plan on that first day of practice on Wednesday when I'm running routes, trying to get, the timing right with Nick and Gardner. Those things really helped me out this year, because being able to catch my first touchdown pass, to catching multiple, being able to have my first 100-yard game, and now my first 1,000-yard season, I feel like I know what it feels like. I know what it takes to do it now. So, it just gives me another advantage moving into this year.
And when you talk about the advantage and the ability to transition to a new season, obviously now you're done with the Pro Bowl, you're going to take a little time off, right? You're going to rest your body. You're going to rest your mind. You absolutely have to do those things in order to be successful in the NFL. But I guess my next question is, so after you do that, after you rest and everything, and you're ready for the new season, how do you grow on that? How do you not be satisfied with your Pro Bowl showing of your second year? How do you actually progress and get even better your third year?
I got a lot of goals, that I want to achieve. I usually don't, speak on my personal goals. I just, try to work towards them. But, this year was good, but it was by no means great for me. I'm not satisfied at all. And, I still have things I want to do individually and as a team. And, I want to be able to bring other guys, with me and experience success, and same as that's why I admire Calais. He always trying to bring guys with him, and being able to experience something like this shows me why he has that passion that he has. I always call him an old man because he's always speaking wisdom all the time. But it's kind of like that moment when your parents tell you something your whole life you don't believe, then it happens. And you say, my parents told me that. I kind of look at him as a role model in that aspect. Guys like Nick, who I talked to all year, who helped keep me grounded the whole year, helped teach me a lot about defenses and audibles. And just being around guys that know the game, that's been around, that's seen it all, that's seen Super Bowls, Pro Bowls, things like that. and I feel like there's no way that, I should be putting limitations on myself. So I'm just going to continue to strive and continue to try to get better every year.
Well, the trend is certainly up for DJ Chark, Jaguars wide receiver, going into his third year. Joined Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, here at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 down at Super Bowl 54. And you brought up something that's really interesting. And, obviously the big topic all year and the big topic of the offseason is going to be the quarterback stuff with Nick Foles and Gardner Minshew. But as a player, how impressed were you with Foles? Because I've heard that from several guys now, his role, even though he was hurt or even though he went back to the bench. Were you almost surprised that someone could handle themselves the way they did? And were there more examples of that from Foles that you saw throughout the year?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not surprised at all. When he came in, you got a sense of his personality and his beliefs, and I feel like he's very strong in his beliefs. And I feel like that helped me as well. And, he always took time, to talk to me about anything on the field or off the field, my successes. He told me about when he went to the Pro Bowl. He told me about when he won the Super Bowl, having to step into those big crucial moments and, how to deal with those. And one thing I can say is, he lived by what he said. The things that he preached, I can definitely say he lived by them. I feel like he went through challenges, but he never wavered at all in his beliefs, and that's a leader,
And then there's Gardner Minshew, man. He's a different cat. How much fun was and I guess how impressed were you with the rookie this season?
Me and Gardner are really, really cool. I talked to him not that long ago while he was, driving around the world in his RV. I'm very impressed with him. He stepped into a situation that I can honestly say that if I was put in the same situation as a rookie, I can definitely say I wouldn't have, performed the way he did this year. And, to go from, being drafted, sixth round to having everybody in the stands with mustaches on their face watching you. That's a pretty big deal. That's a lot of pressure to be putting on, a first-year quarterback, and let alone he have to lead a team into, some pretty tough situations. But, he never wavered either. He stood strong. One thing I admire is him and Nick, their connection, their bond. Even on the outside, when people try to tear that apart, they was really, really close. I always saw him, listening to Nick. Nick always being willing to talk to him. Now I think that really helped the team. That definitely helped the team.
DJ, we talk about Gardner Minshew, obviously. It's the jean shorts, it's the mustache, it's the bandana, and that's what fans love about him, right? But from the player's perspective, I've heard this word uttered a couple times from a couple of his teammates. I'm not sure if you're one of those guys included, but you hear on the sidelines they go, he's a dog. He's a dog. He's a dog. And to me, that's the ultimate compliment, right? Like, that's the ultimate compliment. I don't care what kind of sport you're playing, football, basketball. If someone calls you the dog, that's the ultimate form of respect. So my question to you is, we see the Gardner Minshew off the field, the cool press conferences, the crazy style and all this crazy stories and stuff like that. But what is it about Gardner Minshew in that locker room, on the practice field, on the field, during a game that we're not seeing that makes him the dog, that makes him, fun to play for?
I mean, I just came back from getting treatment at the stadium today from the game. I got back to Jacksonville. So I went up there, and Gardner's in there working out with the strength coaches. They got the music blaring, things like that. And I think that's what makes him a dog, He's willing to work. He's always there for competition. He's not going to back down no matter what the situation is. He's not going to get rattled. And that's the type of guy that you can, put trust in. And he's a great guy off the field, jokes all the time, but it's a different feeling when you're joking with a guy that when y'all put the pads on, he's going to give it 110%. And that's the thing that I like the most about Gardner. He's a brother to me, and I feel like I can always count on him. And, you know, the strength coaches asked me when I'm going to be in there. And I'm still going to take a few days off. But,
I don't blame you.
I'm going to take a few days off, but actually seeing going in there made me say, yeah, I need to get up and go do something soon.
Yeah, man. I mean, Milo used to tell us to take a whole month off, but I guess with Gardner Minshew now, that whole philosophy and that mindset's kind of changed a little bit. All right, so we talked about dogs a little bit, DJ. Let's talk about cats now, man. Your cat dance is obviously a pretty popular thing. Started at the Senior Bowl. Is now kind of anonymous with Jacksonville Jaguars fans. My question to you, though, is do you keep it fresh? Do you come out with something new next year? Or do you kind of go with the old standby, kind of what got you there with the cat dance going forward?
You know, I feel like that's like the retro. You know, you can always come out with some new shoes, but you might have to throw it back to the retro sometimes. So I'm going to break it out sometimes, but I'm going to try to keep it fresh. You know, I'm going to come out, like in the Pro Bowl, I wasn't expecting, to break the 60-yarder. So as I'm running down there, I was trying to think of what should I do. I had a lot of time, so I was still thinking. So I just decided to, hit the little front flip. But my teammates weren't satisfied with that, so we had a little jigging session on the sideline for a little bit. But I try to keep it fresh. I asked my friends and people, what should I do? This year I'm gonna give it some consideration with my teammates. Young like the jigging, so if he say he wants some jigging, I'm gonna have to do that for him and Miles.
Well, if you give some consideration too, man, does a part of you want to help Josh Allen out with his sack dance and everything? Because I mean, the guy's a Pro Bowler now, man. I feel like he has to have like a Pro Bowl kind of sack dance.
I ain't gonna lie, the little shimmy with the love across the thing, that was kind of fire, But I think we need to get together, get a suggestion box, and see what the people around the facility want to see.
I always love the dynamic. DJ Chark with us, Jags wide receiver. We're going to wrap up, too, let you go, man. I appreciate you taking a few minutes. But you are so calm, cool, collected, kind of quiet guy that we talk to all the time, at least the guy we know. Yet there's that fire, that energy, and that big personality inside that shows out on that football field, which is pretty cool. And speaking of personality, I just want to go touch like an LSU Tiger because I feel like my month, my week, my year will be a lot better if I do. I mean, you had a great season. Leonard had a great season. Tyrann Mathieu in the Super Bowl. LSU wins the national championship. Joe Burrow's the talk of the world. It's pretty good to be an LSU Tiger right now, huh?
Oh yeah, this the year. This was definitely the year to be a Tiger. We're not a Clemson Tiger, but a LSU Tiger for sure. But yeah, I told the receivers at LSU, their game be on Saturday. They kind of inspired me that I had to go a little harder on Sunday because, they was going crazy. So I think it's definitely a brotherhood, and we feed off each other. And that's one thing I like about LSU. It's always love when you go back. We're blessed enough to have a lot of talented players, in the NFL. You can pretty much do a jersey swap every game. And it's always communication going on, and those guys always inspire me. Being on the team with Jarvis Landry, that definitely inspired me this week. He's definitely passionate at all times. So it's definitely an honor to say that I went to LSU.
Yeah, and you had a big year. LSU had a big year, and DJ doesn't even know this. We have one small connection. You don't even know this, Austin. DJ's from Alexandria, Louisiana, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana. My first job in TV, Alexandria, Louisiana.
Nice.
Right? So I know a little about Alexandria, Louisiana.
I like it.
My wife taught at Boltman High School, though. No, actually, we were at KLAX, and I don't think it exists anymore. So, but you're right. You just mentioned the station there that was
a competition, huh?
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the legendary station in Alexandria. But I might have brought this up to you one time. Tunks is the place that we used to go to. That was back in 1999. I hope it still exists.
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
All right.
No, it's still there.
Hey, listen, here's the deal. I'll set this up with Brooksy or something, but I want to go back. We'll go back to your hometown, do a little story on you in Alexandria, and I'll take you out to Tunks, okay?
I bet. That's a deal.
All right, good deal. DJ Chark, happy for you, man. Great season. Looking forward to 2020 for you as well. Thanks for taking a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right, DJ Chark, Jaguars wide receiver. Isn't that funny about guys? Like, listen, I kind of you are who your personality. I could tell, kind of like off the field, on the field.
Sure.
Chark's a quiet dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's a quiet, reserved, kind of calculated, just really nice young man.
Mm-hmm.
But on the field, then you see like I'm almost surprised sometimes when the playful side on the touchdown celebrations, and there's a little bit more in there that we don't get to see. It's kind of like, I think he's going to have a career as he continues to grow professionally and put up these kind of numbers that I think that that curtain will be peeled back a little bit more and more and more as he goes along. And by the way, I'm not being critical. I think I think it's a cool thing. It's wild to me, that dynamic, and I'm feeling he's a heck of a football player. I don't think this was a one-off thing. I think it's about to be a heck of a career for DJ Chark, hopefully in a Jags uniform for a long time.
Well, yeah, and that was great talking because that was actually the first conversation I ever had with DJ Chark. So it was cool to kind of, pick his brain a little bit and kind of gather his personality. And I think you hit it on the head, Brent, especially, these younger rookies coming in. I mean, I get it. Back when I was a rookie, it was 10 years ago, so that was different. But I think it's still kind of the same landscape where it's got to be like, all right, yes, sir, no, sir. You want to portray yourself as a professional. But when you're on the field, man, of course you're a professional, but your field's like the playground. Like your field, you can have fun and kind of turn it loose a little bit. And especially you're with your brothers, man. You're with that camaraderie. So, of course, you're going to have some fun there. So I do agree where on the field, man, you can be whatever you want. But off the field, it does take time to develop that personality and kind of be yourself and stay true to yourself.
Good guy. And you could see the escalation of him as a pro in year 2. That just not only on the field, off the field as well. Congratulations on a great season. We appreciate the time. DJ Chark of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We come back, we talk more football and more who we've talked to. It's on the way. Action Sports Jacks, live from Super Bowl 54 on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Lots of sun today, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chilly tonight, dropping into the upper 30s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, your local diamond store for 39 years in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com. Let me guess, you already know about Beards Diamonds and how incredible their selection and prices are. But do you know about Beards Diamonds' history in Jacksonville? Meet Ben, second generation, and find out what Beards is all about.
Having grown up watching my father work in the jewelry industry, both wholesale and retail, diamonds represent way more to me than just an article that can be sold. Diamonds are my passion. I look at diamonds as a commitment, a joining of two lives together.
Beards Diamonds has been locally owned and operated for the last 39 years. And it's not your typical jewelry store. And Ben is here to explain why.
Being locally owned allows us to give you a personalized experience that other corporate jewelry stores simply cannot offer. We refuse to lose at Beards Jewelry. We'll beat anybody's price, anywhere or anytime, and that's our promise to you.
Beards Diamonds, your local diamond store for 39 years in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Do what we do and chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. They are my favorite wings in town. People love them at our ESPN 690 party to celebrate a year. You can just celebrate good wings, good food, and a fun atmosphere at Mr. Chubby's Wings. So many flavors to choose from. But you know what my favorite is, the Maple Cajun. Go give it a try. Drink specials, a full menu, and lots of TVs to watch any sport. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island.
Are your sales sluggish? Does your business feel flat? Give it a boost of natural energy with a sponsorship at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. Put your business in front of thousands of health and fitness-conscious consumers looking for ways to enhance their health. Kick off 2020 with a bang at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd. Space is going fast, so book yours today at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJacks.com. Call 245-8596, BeHealthyJacks.com.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. Now through the end of the month, Ernie Palmer Toyota has dropped prices even lower on all of our big deals. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's right, up to $500. See deal for details, ends 2/3/20.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur? Then we invite you to sign up for the Achieve Your Business Dream workshop that SCORE offers in conjunction with the Jacks Chamber. It will be held again in February, May, August, and October. Held over 4 consecutive weeks, this workshop provides valuable information on a range of topics. If you want to learn more about any of the workshop SCORE offers, then go to the Take a Workshop tab at jacksonville.score.org.
The Daytona 500. Be here on February 16th to witness the biggest race of the year, where one driver will make history as a Daytona 500 champion. Be here to feel the power that takes your breath away and brings you to the edge of your seat, and to experience the thrill of one of the greatest events in sports and one of the most iconic events in the world. This is the Daytona 500. Tickets are available now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or Daytona500.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed, or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Be bold, Jacksonville. Whether you want to be cold or hot, Bold City Heating and Air will help. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. I needed a new air conditioning system this summer and called the good folks at Bold City Heating and Air. It was worth the call. A competitive price, good communication, fantastic service. A new system is a big investment. You want a good experience. My family had that at Bold City Heating and Air. You can too. They will help you design the perfect system for your home while staying within your budget. Be bold and give Bold City Heating and Air a call or visit boldcityac.com.
Is your business as healthy as the products you sell? Then consider a sponsorship at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. The Jack's Health and Fitness Expo is recommended for businesses of all sizes, looking for thousands of health and fitness conscious consumers interested in ways to enhance their lives. Side effects may include selling out of inventory, excessive profits, and increased happiness. Space is going fast, so book yours today at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJacks.com.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. During his time in the NBA, AI had some of the best handles in the game. But it appears in retirement, he gives up steals easier. Philly police are looking for a man who stole a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry that belonged to Allen Iverson, reportedly. In other news, for some reason, Allen Iverson carries a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry in it. The Super Bowl held opening ceremonies last night, introducing the two teams. Here's Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce on what makes quarterback Patrick Mahomes so special.
Just overall, his ability to read coverages, have a plan on where to go, his preparation has gone to a whole nother level. He's able to put the ball, his ball placement is through the roof.
Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Listen, I think when you're younger, as many championship games as we went to and then the Super Bowl, you felt like that was going to be an every year thing. But you find out real quick that's not how it goes. I tell our young guys that listen, you cherish the moment. That's the way the NFL is. So.
Well, that's Andy Reid. You know, back in 2005 in Jacksonville, was in that Super Bowl and lost to the New England Patriots. And here we are, some 15 years later. And Andy Reid's back in the state of Florida, back at a Super Bowl, but for the first time this time with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I kind of forget how people felt about that game. Philly was really good, Patriots are obviously always good, and they didn't have the stigma grown to what it became like in 2008 through 12, 13, 14, even recently. But I think people thought Philly could win that game with Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens and those guys. Well, I think he's in even a better place right now in terms of confidence.
I'll tell you, as someone who was in Philly at the time, I'm pretty sure that whole city thought they were also going to win. And then when I believe McNabb was thrown up on the field, that's when everyone got a little nervous. I remember that vividly.
And that's always stayed with him, and it became there's rift still recently with Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
There was something I saw on social media last week that Donovan McNabb had said in kind of one of these look-back things, not just about that game and season, but in general. And Terrell Owens kind of took to Twitter, and they kind of got into beef that way. So, but here's Andy Reid again, and I think, I think from teams that you look at that have this supreme confidence, the Patriots always have because they've won so many times, but you go back to the greatest show on turf in St. Louis Rams, and you go now to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't remember feeling for a team that you should have so much confidence coming in because of what you can do. I liken it to the St. Louis Rams. I liken it to some of the Patriots teams. And I think Kansas City's more of that than San Francisco, even though San Francisco can win the game. But I would just ride with Kansas City because they look unstoppable at times.
Yeah, and listen, when you compare Andy Reid, the coaching tree of the Bill Belichick's, like, listen, it's hard to compare the Patriots to a lot of things because they're always going to be the outlier. But to me, of course, Andy Reid is the offensive genius that he is. But what he also brings, which a lot of coaches honestly can't say, is wherever he's been successful, okay? Whether it was in Philly, whether it was when he was an assistant coach in Green Bay, or whether it's in Kansas City now. And if you look at the coaching career of Andy Reid, he's always had the ability to stay true to himself, right? We always talk about the modern era NFL player. We always talk about the me, ask why. Well, the cool thing about Andy Reid, and, obviously I got to play for him a little bit, so I saw it firsthand, is the fact that his coaching style, Brent, it can fit any kind of player. Because at the end of the day, he's going to expect a lot out of you. If you mess up, obviously he's going to chew you out like any coach is going to do. But he's such a player's coach where it's just like, you're a professional. You're a grown man. Go out there and do your job. And if you don't do your job, I'll call you out. And if you can't do your job, I'll replace you. Simple as that. So it's never this, trying to cuss you out and try to embarrass you like some coaches kind of have that ego to do. It's just from the standpoint of this is just a player's coach kind of guy, a very casual head coach who holds his players to a high standard. But if you look in that Chiefs locker room, I'm sure if you looked in that Eagles locker room, they're made up of old guys. They're made up of guys like, Anthony Sherman, like I talked to yesterday, who's the older guy. There's young guys like Travis Kelce, who still kind of comes across as a young guy a little bit. But they all love to play for Andy Reid, and they all want to win the big one for him. And that comes down to Andy Reid's coaching style, where it can literally transcend any kind of generation. It can transcend any kind of background.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks, Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber, all down here in South Florida. In Miami, Super Bowl 54. It's time to give away a $50 PDQ gift card, and then welcome in John Bachman in just a moment. $50 gift card to PDQ. We're giving one away right now. Caller number 5. How about McNabb from 2005?
Let's get it. I like it.
2005, McNabb.
Yep.
McNabb was 5, right? Yeah.
He was, yes.
Right, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I get old sometimes.
You're all good, man.
I think I know, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, no, I really don't know. But I did know that time. So let's give away a PDQ gift card right now, 904-362-9901. Caller number 5 to Coos, *690, another way to get in. Buy one, get one free this weekend only. 25 or 50 chicken tender platters. Really good deal. Buy one, get one free. And it's only good Saturday and Sunday as you get ready for the big game. Maybe have your party coming up on Sunday. So $50 gift card right now, 904-362-9901. Caller number 5. As we welcome in John Bachman back in the Action Sports Jack studio, stopping up from Action News Jack, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Hey, John, I know you know this, but I guess we had an earthquake somewhere around here.
I was just going to ask you if you guys felt it because Miami Police Department's just tweeting that they're setting up their unified command in the Brickell neighborhood, which is just south of downtown Miami, as I'm looking on my Google Maps here, where there were buildings that were shaking because of this 7.7 magnitude earthquake between Jamaica and Cuba. So, about 150 miles south of Miami.
Yeah, John, what's going on in the islands right now with all the earthquakes? Is there? I don't pay attention to all of it. I see some of the headlines, but Puerto Rico in the last few weeks has been hit several times.
Yeah, they've felt the brunt of it.
Is there something going on? I mean, something?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to have to ask Mike Burrish that actual question as soon as I go back downstairs because that's a really good question.
I know you're not like a scientist. I'm just saying. I didn't know if I missed something like, hey, this is the reason this is happening right now.
I'm sure that we both probably have because there seems to be something happening. Clearly, you don't have what's been like 2 or 3 pretty good-sized earthquakes that have really caused a lot of damage Puerto Rico, and then now you've got this really big one. Now, this one was off the coast a bit, and it doesn't sound like anybody was hurt, at least not in Jamaica that I could find so far, which is good news. 7.7 is very big. Usually you hear that and then you get worried about tsunamis, and I don't think there's been anything on that yet either. I'm still kind of searching through as I talk to you, but so you guys didn't feel it. Now, where is the Hard Rock Cafe? You guys aren't even at the stadium. You're at the convention center?
So we're literally like, I would say, 4 or 5 blocks from South Beach.
Sure.
And
okay, so you're not that far from the Brickell neighborhood.
I don't know, man. I was watching cartoons when it happened, so who knows what happened. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to the earthquake,
you were watching
I guess.
Cartoons. I was interviewing Gronkowski. Isn't that the
on
same
my laptop? Well, pretty much, man. Very similar. I'm not sure who was more entertained during that whole thing.
But yeah, we were serious. We were in the convention center down the hall. In fact, I missed the first half-hour radio. We were getting the Fox guys, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Gronkowski, and the like, and came out of there and heard about it. So no,
you did not feel it.
Completely honest, didn't feel anything.
Okay.
Would even expect that, of course. It's amazing how me, at least, and I don't know if I'm alone, it's so ingrained to think that earthquakes just happen in California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's my mind.
That's where the big ones
seem
to occur in our country. That's the fact. But I mean, they've had some small earthquakes up and down the East Coast. I mean,
recently, I think.
North Georgia and Tennessee and North Carolina have all had small tremors.
I remember going through one when I was in college, my junior year at Murray State, Kentucky. There's one in Kentucky, actually, that I literally woke up from. I was wondering what was going on. Did I drink a little too much the previous night?
The answer was yes.
Well, I mean, probably it was, yeah. It was during the week. Brent, come on, let's be serious now. But it was a crazy feeling, man.
Every day ends in Y,
everything's shaking and everything's falling off, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere, Brent.
I've never experienced an earthquake firsthand. I've been through tornadoes, obviously hurricanes, but never an earthquake.
Yeah, me either.
And I'm not saying that I want to, by the way. I'm just saying I've never experienced it. I would imagine it's very disconcerting, especially for the big ones where, there's damage happening. I remember vividly, was it the 88 World Series?
Yes.
Man, that was awful.
Was it 88 or 90? No, I think it was 88. Was it 89? Actually,
it was the Oakland A's, and was it the Dodgers? Was it the A's and the Dodgers?
Yeah, it was the Bay. It was the California World Series.
Right, which was the A's and the Dodgers, right?
Yeah. But I think that 88 was the year
you're right.
What's his name hit the home run? Gibson.
Yeah.
And
wasn't that the same World Series, though?
I think it was 89.
Hang on. I have this thing called the computer in my hands.
Meanwhile, while you look that up, I want a statement issued by the Donovan Darius' family today, this afternoon.
Yes.
And I'll read it. It's very short, but it says, the family of Donovan Darius would like to thank the community for your outpouring of love, prayers, and encouraging words. More importantly, we appreciate your continued belief and support of him as a leader and champion for children and families in Jacksonville and beyond. John, can you give us the latest on Donovan Darius from a maybe legal standpoint?
I can't right now. I'll be honest. I've been out of the office most of the day, so I don't know the latest on that situation right this second. But I'm sure we'll have whatever the update is at 5. But I really can't speak to that at the moment.
I think I saw something earlier this morning that he had been released.
He's out of jail. That much I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, he has posted bond and he's out of jail. Okay. But I don't know anything more than that at this point.
Yeah, and I think everybody's still fishing for answers. I will tell you here, I just said within the last half hour, we were talking to Jay Glazer, and before we went on camera with him, he asked about Donovan Darius, said he tried to reach out to him in the last couple of days, see if he needed any help, because he knows him from working out back in the late 90s when he was with Jacksonville, and Glazer was working out in Jacksonville with him. So it's, that word travels quick, and people are curious and wondering if Donovan Darius is okay, really one of the likable former Jaguars that still remains in our area. and we're still thinking about him. But not a lot of answers right now when it comes to Donovan Darius.
No, you certainly hope that if, in fact, he does need help, he gets it. And it sounds like, the families, with that statement, it seems like they're at least aware of it, and hopefully somebody will step in.
What you got, 88 or 89?
89. It was
89.
definitely the 89 series, so you were right.
All right, good deal.
88 was the 88 Dodgers Yankees? Why do I have 88 in my head?
No, 88 was Dodgers. That was the Gibson home run, so they went back-to-back.
Okay.
They didn't win. The A's won in 89 with the Bash brothers.
Right. Who was in it against the Dodgers in 88, though? Was that the Yankees?
Don't look at me, man. I was two.
Yeah, that was the Bash. It should have been the Bash brothers, but that was like
La Russa was the manager, and wasn't Eckersley
Dave
was the
Stewart was the pitcher, right?
Eckersley was the relief pitcher.
Yeah.
They had another big starter too, didn't they? Anyway.
Yeah, but they had, who's the third baseman? Carney Lansford.
Oh, yeah, Lansford.
Oh, that was a good pull right there.
Oh,
Lansford.
hey, that's
I'm
good.
taking your word for it, dude.
Minshew reminds me of Lansford a little bit, or the other way around, now that I think about that. Didn't he have a great stash?
He did have a stash, you're right. He had like a little long hair coming out.
Meaty stash, yeah, buddy. He's like Minshew's version for baseball.
On the hot corner there. Of course, that was a wild team, the Oakland A's.
Oh, it was.
Back in the day. All right.
It was.
Hey, what else you have coming up tonight? 5 o'clock, CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Well, a big shakeup. You see what I did there? A big shakeup at JEA. As you know, the CEO was fired not that long ago, Aaron Zahn. But today they made it official by firing him with cause, which is a huge deal for the ratepayers and taxpayers of Jacksonville because if you fire him with cause, they don't have to pay him as much. He was going to make as much as $800,000 even if he was fired without cause. So he was fired with cause today. It sounds like he may be lining up things to perhaps appeal that. But for now, he's been fired with cause. And the entire JEA board is stepping down. So there has been a major, major shift in the JEA situation, really. That's the best way to sum it up. It has been a situation.
Yeah, it sure has. Where does this impact where they were moving to, their headquarters, all that stuff that came out in the last year prior to this whole privatization talk? Do you know?
Well, that's a good question. Here's what we know. They announced that they were not going to Lot J, of course, that they're moving in that same area where they already are. And I would suspect that that's separate, but I don't know for sure if this has delayed some of those discussions because obviously, leadership has changed. A whole bunch of other folks have stepped down. I think it was a CFO. I don't want to get the titles wrong, but there have been other leaders for JEA that have stepped down recently. So my guess is that project has been put a little bit on the back burner as they get all this stuff situated. But I haven't heard that it's not happening. But that is something we'll have to look into. But right now we're kind of focusing on what does this mean for the folks who get their utilities from JEA, right?
Yeah,
because that's the big question.
Immediately, that's important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But yeah.
All right, tonight, 5 o'clock, CBS 47, Fox 30. I'll have a report from the Super Bowl as well. And then later tonight, 10 o'clock until 11:30, CBS 47 and Fox 30. John Bachman, Tanika Hughes, Mike Burish, and our sports team. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Go find somebody who felt that earthquake for us. We'll put them on TV.
I know. I'm working that story. We're working a little news angle today down here
exactly.
at the Super Bowl.
All right, man. Thanks much.
Right.
Thanks much. Have fun.
All right, that's John Bachman. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson here at Super Bowl 54. We're going to take a timeout. We will have another $50 PDQ gift card to give away the next hour. We'll also have some interviews coming up, including in our next segment. There are some things that you want to tease, and let's be honest, you over-tease at times, and it doesn't hit home with everybody. This is not an oversell. The Terry Bradshaw on Gardner Minshew is pretty classic. And we're going to play it coming up. It's 98 seconds of gold from Terry Bradshaw. And it's coming up next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Live from Super Bowl 54 here in Miami.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
And finally, Popeye's chicken sandwich is officially coming back. Yeah! You got the bread in?
I feel like people owe us a thank you for getting that, applying the pressure needed to get that chicken sandwich back.
We're going to take credit for that. I'm good with that. I am totally fine with that. Everyone good with that? All right. Thank us.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza. Want a fresh one? Renna's has fresh ingredients, fresh food throughout the menu, and the pizza is so fresh and so good. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Renna's Pizza. We know we'll eat well, and we were at the Neptune Beach location recently. Perfect setting to hang out, eat, drink, and watch the games on TV. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. They've dropped prices lower than ever. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's Ernie Palmer Toyota.
Hey, it's Goose from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Hi, I'm Mike Mills from REM, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
He plays the Chiefs twice a year, so he's got his pass rush tips for me. But just enjoy the moment because stuff like this doesn't happen too often.
What did he say about getting to Patrick Mahomes and those pass rush tips?
Just I can't give those away, but but just contain him in the pocket because he could extend some plays.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's Nick Bosa talking about how to stop Patrick Mahomes. Joey Bosa, of course, his brother, plays in the same division with the Chargers in the AFC, so faces Mahomes quite a bit over the last few years. And it's going to be hard to contain Patrick Mahomes, no doubt about it. He's a special cat. Yeah. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jack, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson down here at Super Bowl 54 in South Florida as we approach the 5 o'clock hour. About 2 hours ago now, we stopped in and talked to some of the Fox Sports talent, the analysts, who, by the way, over the years have become stars off the field. Terry Bradshaw for
not Dance with the Stars. He was with the Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer.
Yeah, he was the deer.
And he's just like a character, you know. I mean, for a whole couple of generations now, we know him as a broadcaster, the masked singer, this character guy, instead of the football player who won 4 Super Bowls. You have to Google that now. Howie Long looks like he could still play, by the way. His 2 kids have now played in the league, or 2 of his kids. You played with one of them, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. So,
no,
Kyle. Yeah. So Kyle and I, we spent some time together, obviously in Chicago. So I mean, yeah, Kyle was, he was a staple there. He just chose to walk away. I don't think he actually put like his official retirement in, but he said he's taking some time off. So one would think that he may in fact be done playing, but he's actually the last fight that he's the last dude I ever got in a fight with on an NFL practice field. So I hold him in very high regard and very high ranking. Let's just say. Shout out to Kyle Long. Good dude.
And Chris Long retired, right?
No, Chris Long retired a while ago. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And was the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Correct. Yep.
For all he's done, I think internationally
to donated his entire paycheck of the year to different various charities. I think around the Philadelphia area. So schools, I think children's hospitals. Every single week, his entire paycheck went someplace else.
And I've seen stories on him. He's trying to make clean water in other countries. Mm-hmm. And has this big initiative to do that. So, interesting. We talk about the Manning name.
Yeah.
Underrated is the Long name in football, in the NFL. Pretty interesting legacy for that family. They don't play the quarterback position, so it comes with a little bit less fanfare. But Howie Long still looks like he could play. So, anyway, we talked to a lot of these guys, and they had a bunch of them in the room. We couldn't get to everybody. Had to hustle back for the show. And one guy you always have to catch up with is Terry Bradshaw.
Correct.
And I have questions for each of these guys that I want Jacksonville related, and they'll answer anything, which is really cool. It's not just about Super Bowl. People are asking about the Super Bowl, but honestly, we're going to hear them for the next 6 days talking about the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I want a little Jacksonville connection. So Howie Long asked him about Baselli. We'll hear it later in the week. Bradshaw, if you were the guy, Minshew or Foles, who would you ride with? And now you got to be a little patient in here because he was sweating profusely, given a napkin at a time to clean some of his sweat. But this guy is just an absolute character. Treasure. He's fun to listen to. It's coming up right now. Caught up with Terry Bradshaw, the Hall of Famer, just a short while ago.
If I put you in charge of the Jags this year, Minshew or Foles, who you rolling with?
Coming up?
Coming up.
Well,
but you got to play some, and they got to bat once.
Boy. Now I love Nick Foles. Wonderful man. Love him.
It flies by.
But I would not have brought Foles back when Minshew was doing so well. Because what happened is I think it took a little, maybe a little confidence away from him. Probably asking himself, wasn't I doing a good enough job, so on and so forth, which he was. So I would have stayed with Minshew. Coming back now, I think Nick will be fine coming back and they can fight it out. But if they think that Minshew is their answer long term, bad as I hate to say this, then you send Foles back to Philly. They'll take him back. He's got a statue there, man.
Do you like the character that Minshew is? That whole thing?
Like that. I like that. You know what? I wish I had the balls to have a... I do now, look. But I wish I'd have had that. That's just so cool. I like his swagger. You know who reminds me of? Joe Namath. Yeah. Joe Namath. Just cool. Just a cool dude. Shirt undone, chain. Maybe he's patterning himself after Joe. I don't know anything about him. Where'd he go? Washington State?
State.
Yeah, you got nothing to do up there. Trap beaver. So, maybe that. But I like him. I like him a lot.
Oh, there's Terry Bradshaw. I told you it'd be classic, man. That's 98 seconds of goal.
Trapping beaver, man.
But the former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, he'll be a part of the crew leading up to Super Bowl 54. Interesting couple of things. One, the funny stuff is hilarious.
Of course.
He was like he didn't want to say balls.
Yeah, I know. Like kind of whispering like you weren't on with the microphone there. It wasn't going to come through the microphone, but it's cool. It's all good, Terry.
I know. I think this would come off a little bit better if you saw the interview, which you probably will at some time on TV and CBS 47 and Fox 30 this week. But he was talking about the mustache there, right?
Yeah.
And he said, now I do have one. But just the whole thing about trapping beaver and Washington State, and he loves that thing. I knew Bradshaw would love that thing. But it's interesting because he said they should have just stuck with him.
Yeah.
And, what's notable, and you just don't have the time here because so many people, but even coming off that London game, we wondered. Remember, go back to that week. It was 4-4 for him, for the Jags, going into that huge game against Houston, starting that stretch against the AFC South, that game in London. And it was so bad for Gardner Minshew, that fourth quarter especially, that I think that helped make the move to Foles for Doug Marrone and company. But Bradshaw kind of hinted there that it would have been smarter maybe at the time just to stick with Minshew and let him ride.
Well, and listen, hindsight's always going to be 20/20. And, it's easy for Terry Bradshaw to say that because you're on The Masked Singer. You're wearing a giant deer outfit, and you're prancing around, and you're having a good time and everything. So from the outside looking in, yeah, it's easy to say Minshew should have been the starter the whole time. But if you look at it and put yourself in Doug Marrone's shoes, if you put yourself in Dave Caldwell's shoes or the front office's shoes, you got to remember, they're all trying to fight for their jobs, or so they thought. They thought they were going to be done if they don't succeed in that season. So, when Minshew came out in London, didn't have his best game, obviously, kind of faltered a little bit. I wasn't mad that Nick Foles was the starting quarterback after that because we all thought that it gave you the best chance to win. Now, I was very adamant saying I think you should keep Minshew in, but I was kind of planning for the future. I wasn't putting myself in Doug Marrone's shoes. But if I was Doug Marrone, truth be told, I probably would do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think even the people that love Minshew and think Minshew should be the guy going forward and kind of felt the same way you did, in terms of rescuing the season, nobody was like, I can't believe they just went back to Foles. And even in hindsight, in Jacksonville, it hasn't been criticized that often that he went back to Foles. You could find the sense in it. And it was almost like, hey, Gardner, you had to show him something in that game again in London.
Yeah.
And it was the complete opposite. He played the worst game as a pro.
And also keep in mind, though, too, John DeFilippo did him zero favors because the game plan around that was, it wasn't conducive to helping Gardner Minshew shine. And then when it was too late, you put the ball in his hands, it was already over.
It's bad to go to London as an offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, it feels like. They can't game plan very well over there.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively. Nathaniel Hackett didn't do a good job of it with Blake Bortles. And you're right, DeFilippo that week and then the next week with Foles at the helm was awful because they never ran the football. But that was Terry Bradshaw on Gardner Minshew. We asked some others about it as well, and we'll get to some of those other interviews along the way. More Jags talk, more football talk, more former Jags here at the Super Bowl, all in the final hour, plus a $50 PDQ gift card coming up too. It's Action Sports Jags on the road, Super Bowl 54 here on ESPN 690.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Hey guys, Mike Golick here. Listen, athletes are still athletes when they're off the field. That's why they still need to make good choices, like staying hydrated with Bolt 24. With antioxidant vitamins A and C, electrolytes from watermelon and sea salt, and no artificial sweeteners or flavors, Bolt 24 is all-day hydration for all-day athletes and can be found in the sports drink aisle at most major retailers. Bolt 24, all-day hydration.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, the LA County Medical Examiner said today all 9 bodies in the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others have been recovered from the crash site. As tributes continue to pour in LA and throughout the world for Bryant, the Lakers have brought in grief counselors to help players and others in the organization cope with the loss of the legend. Tonight's game against the Clippers postponed by the NBA out of respect for the team. One good way for the league to pay tribute to Kobe, an award to give to a player each year that best exemplifies him on the court, believes ESPN's Tim Legler.
Talking about watching someone that literally every second you watch them on the court, they're fully engaged and locked in and committed to giving you everything they have, play by play. So if you want to really sum up Kobe Bryant and honor him the right way, maybe there's an award they come up with down the road that honors a particular player that you feel that way about when you watch them over the course of a season.
Tim Legler on Golick and Wingo. Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo with a sore shoulder out of tonight's game against the Wizards.
You love iced tea. It's smooth and refreshing with just the right flavor. You also love to be a little twisted. That's why Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea has everything you love. Because it's made with real brewed tea and a kick. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Be a little twisted. Drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You've had the opportunity to watch one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time win a couple of these things. What did you take from that?
You know, just his calm demeanor, how he went about it like it was another game, and just, stepping up, making big plays in big moments. I mean, that's what it's all about.
49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo talking about playing behind the GOAT, Tom Brady. A topic that doesn't really get talked a lot about, I feel like, or at least not enough in the NFL. And from, these young first-round draft picks coming into the league, especially at the quarterback position, is the ability to wait behind your guy and learn. And I'm not sure what the analytics are. I'm not sure what the statistics are of guys who come into the league as a quarterback in the first round who get time to sit as opposed to someone who gets thrown in the fire right away. I don't know the analytics, but all I know right now is we got Tom Brady. When you have Aaron Rodgers, those are two of the best NFL quarterbacks right now around. And I think that there's something to be said for that. So I think when you talk about coming in, developing, having time to see it from the outside looking in, and just kind of have time to relax and breathe and go, you know what? This is the NFL. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to learn how to be a pro first. I'm going to learn from the guy that's ahead of me and then go on. I think that's a great way to do things. Joined once again by Brent Martin. I'm just talking about a little bit how we don't really talk about a lot of how the quarterbacks come in who are rookies, who actually get time to learn and develop a little bit, like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Jimmy Garoppolo. Like I said, I'm not sure what the statistics say and what the analytics say, but I know that the good quarterbacks, they do that, Brent.
You're not allowed to do it anymore. You're just not. I mean, meaning like fans, I think, and organizations, whether it's owners or the quick turnaround, and you're not given a lot of time to get things done, you're not allowed to do it. You have to rush someone in. Think about Jacksonville. Jacksonville, back in 2011 would have been Gabbert's year?
Correct.
Or did he come in with you?
2011.
No, 11. They draft Blaine Gabbert.
Sure.
They did not want Blaine Gabbert to play football that year. You knew it. You were on that team. That was not the plan. David Garrard was supposed to be the guy. They even had Luke McCown on the roster as well. And they did not want it to happen. But Jack Del Rio feeling for his job and the heat of that, and not really having success after cutting Garrard because of some injuries and saying the cap hit, and they were just moving on. And then McCown having an awful game. I think it was against the Jets. Well, they said, you know what, we're going. We're going with it. We're riding with it right now. And out of almost panic, I think Jack Del Rio made that move to say, we got to try to salvage this thing or we're done in Jacksonville. That was reality. So I think the pressure of keeping jobs, I think the pressure of drafting someone and investing in someone like the Jags did, they traded up to get Gabbert, say, get this guy on the field and see what he has. And then the pressure of other people coming in and doing a nice job at times. Younger quarterbacks started coming in and playing better and playing well. Russell Wilson's a great example of it, right?
Sure.
I mean, he came in and beat Matt Flynn out in training camp and comes in early and has a ton of success. He wasn't carrying the team, but he had success. So guys like that coming in, doing well, I think applied more pressure to that top guy that people invested in, that young quarterback, even if they're not ready. But if you look at what teams have done, and when they've been able to sit on a guy and let him learn and take your time and be patient and commit to it, it has worked pretty well at times. And that, of course, is an Aaron Rodgers example. And that was too much time from Aaron Rodgers' point of view. But still, the point still exists. And then I think Mahomes is now the greatest example of it, because this guy is ultra talented, super talented, more talented and probably better than Alex Smith. And they still said, you know what, we are doing this. We're sticking with this. They played him the last couple of games because they had already won and clinched and all that stuff. But that year, to me, was so beneficial for Patrick Mahomes. What will be interesting is Matt Rule, given 7 years now in a contract for the Carolina Panthers, when he gets his guy, if he gets his guy in this draft or next year, will they show the same amount of patience, considering they have a 7-year deal in front of them, to say, we think it's best if we sit our guy and not rush into it. One last example, by the way, in Jacksonville I didn't get to was Blake Bortles. I mean, Bortles, they said the same thing. They're like, oh, we can't do this anymore. I mean, Henny's not going to work. We need to win football games. And part of that, by the way, in a losing organization, which is really where you've likely invested in a young quarterback, is you got to win. You got to win for your fans. And you need to win for your fans. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs team, you have Alex Smith. If you're a Green Bay Packers, you have Brett Favre. You can hold over because, one, you've probably won a few football games to say, hey, we're doing it this way. And two, that quarterback that you already have is pretty good. The Jags weren't afforded that. Other teams have not been afforded that. But sure, Patrick Mahomes' career, I think, is on the upward trend in a rapid fashion, partially because he got to sit that first year under Alex Smith.
Absolutely. And it's funny because everyone has a preconceived notion of that first-round draft pick, whether he's a quarterback, whatever position, he needs to come in right from the get-go and be a starter in the NFL. And I think when you look at Andy Reid, when they went after Patrick Mahomes, they sacrificed a lot to get him. And it was funny, when my conversation, hopefully we'll play, in the next couple of days or so, I asked Andy Reid, I asked him straight up, like, you guys like Deshaun Watson, but you love Patrick Mahomes. Why? And he was pretty candid of his answer there, of what he saw in Patrick Mahomes and why he thought he was going to be a great quarterback going forward. But it's like he said, where he knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be special. But even with that given, with Alex Smith kind of being the ultimate game manager, and I get it, it's a term I don't like to throw around, but that's what every analyst, and I'm sure even Alex Smith was getting tired of calling himself a game manager. Yeah. Even when you have that at your disposal, the ability to still sit Patrick Mahomes, I thought spoke volumes in what the plan was going forward. Now, like you said, Brent, not every team has that luxury, right? Some teams draft the rookie quarterback, and they got to come in right away because the quarterback that they're taking over, I mean, they're already better than. And I get that standpoint as well. But I guess when we put such a high premium on the quarterback position, when it is the ultra-mega position of guiding a team to the Super Bowl, it's just baffling to me while teams don't always reload. Like teams could have a mediocre quarterback, for instance, like a Mariota or something like that. Well, you never heard the Tennessee Titans trying to go out and go, let's get a first-round guy and let's build behind Mariota. No, you get Ryan Tannehill, and now you're going to be kind of in a quarterback limbo of, do you sign Tannehill to the long term or do you let him go? It's baffling to me how it's such a quarterback-driven league, but teams are still so cautious when dealing with the quarterback, especially, overdrafting in the first and second rounds.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a great point, and one that people don't talk about as much anymore. But it also, I just asked on social media, yeah, if you ask me, if you ask every GM, every head coach, they would say, yeah, I want to sit my guy and let him learn a little bit. It's so helpful. There's a reason why people used to redshirt in college, right? Because it was an adjustment and to get used to it. Well, now, look what happens. Nobody redshirts. No, right? People get to campus early now. So everything is sped up. And to the credit of the kids and to the credit of the young players in the NFL, they're more ready to compete and be good than ever before. And that's a credit to them and their coaching and their maturity in a lot of different ways. But I also think the flip side is in Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew had a very nice, productive rookie year. And I think the ability to do that might show something in Gardner Minshew because you just said it to DJ Chark. that second year is where you make your big stride.
Absolutely.
In 2020, how big of a stride will Gardner Minshew make?
I mean, if you're asking me personally, I think it's going to be a big one, obviously. I think it's going to be a huge one. Time will tell, obviously, but you cannot take for granted of just being that rookie quarterback, trying to get acquainted to the NFL life, and everything's a whirlwind, especially from the quarterback position, which is the double standard. It is the hardest position to play in football. So now that he's acquainted, now that he's dipped his toes in the pool, well, now it's time to go swimming. Now it's time to put on your Michael Phelps, put on your water wings or whatever, and go to town. And I think that's what Gardner Minshew is definitely capable of.
Is there any doubt that Minshew's wearing like a banana hammock on South Beach? I mean,
without a doubt, dude. I mean, how could you not, man?
I mean,
trust me, we saw plenty of them today from both sexes, but males and females alike.
I mean, Minshew might wear the jockstrap.
I know. Hey, to each their own, man. But
sorry, got a little sidetracked.
I know. Yeah, it's all good, man. But we're talking about Gardner Minshew, though. Yes, I think he can take those steps forward. I think if you're the head coaching staff, I think you do realize that, and that's why you give him the starting nod.
Listen, I don't know what it means because it's never cut and dry. There might be a trend here or there. I can find you an example of all these different things. Guys that looked pretty good their first year, and you're like, whoa. And then
it's
they
not
take
a perfect science.
It's just not. And so, but I do think that example, what you're talking about, which is a great topic of Mahomes, and people forget about it. They think he's just been this guy. Well, he sat for a bit, and he gives a ton of credit to Alex Smith for that if you read up on it. And so I think that example also sheds light on Minshew playing well should sit with the Jags organization, should sit with Jags fans as being, oh, I like that. That's a good sign. Now let's see where it goes. But it's still with Minshew. On every level, let's see where it goes. It's not a slam dunk. And a lot of that is because of where he was drafted, and we've talked about this before, and it's also because of his shortcomings, if you will, when it comes to checking the boxes. He doesn't like to hear that, but I'm talking from people in the league. They will still question whether it's 100% this guy's going to be a star. And that's what 2020 to me is all about for Jacksonville, is finding out just how good this guy is. And can he be a star? Can he lead this franchise for a long time to come? A lot of hope, and he gave you hope because of what he did in his rookie season, coming in on the fly. Now that big step in year number 2 will be interesting. But remember, other people also can prep for you. Other people get more tape on you, and that happens in the NFL too.
So that begs the question, like, how much of a Rubik's Cube is Gardner Minshew? How tough is he going to be to solve? I mean, one can make an argument when he is showing his addition in London, the Texans kind of had a chance to game plan for him a little bit, and they kind of shut him down, right? I mean, now you could say John DeFilippo and his game plan wasn't, the best for Gardner Minshew going forward, so they can go back and forth. I get what you're saying here. But at the end of the day, you mentioned it, Brent. Yes, teams will watch more film on him. Teams will figure out where he likes to scramble, where he likes to step up, where is that honey hole where he feels most comfortable in throwing a pass. But at the same time, that's when the new offensive coordinator comes in, right? This is where Gruden comes in. This is where Gruden spreads the ball around a little more, makes it hard for teams to defend, and then obviously you sprinkle on Leonard Fournette as well. I think going forward, man, you have to be at least a little optimistic of what the Jaguars' offense is capable of.
Josh says it depends on when you're drafting them and what the current situation is. If you don't have a winning QB on your roster already, I think you'll get more value by playing them ASAP. It accelerates your evaluation time, and you should know by the end of year 3 if you need another. And fair enough. I'm not sure Minshew where he's drafted. We've discussed this so many times, and you brought up the great point of if he was drafted in the first round, everybody would be all for this.
Correct.
Like, hey, that's a great start. Heck of a start. Look what they're saying about Kyler Murray. Look what they're saying about Daniel Jones. But because of the 6th round, there's hesitation, and also the window to commitment will be shorter. It's just reality. Yep. It'll be shorter. And so that's why I believe they should give him 2020. They should ride with him, see what is there, and hope and pray that he's the guy. Because it will be one fun hell of a ride in Jacksonville if he is the guy from a playing standpoint. We already know what it is, personality off the field.
And here's the beauty of Gardner Minshew going forward next year. Take the 6th round pick out of it. Take, he could have been a 1st round pick out of it. That's all gone because now he's a 2nd-year guy. And the guys that he's in the same draft class with, they're all 2nd-year guys. So now you can't chalk up the rookie card anymore. You can't chalk up and say, well, he's still a young guy. He's going to make some mistakes. So if Gardner Minshew, for whatever reason, maybe falters a little bit, Brent, maybe shows that he is human a little bit, well then, if you're the Jaguars staff, you probably go forward and say, you know what, let's invest in another quarterback in the draft the following season. Like, this season's so important from the standpoint of you're going to find out what you got. And if you got something special, you got something special. And if you got something questionable, you have something questionable. But there's going to be no room for doubt. Now, I understand. A new offensive coordinator could make things a little harder, right? I mean, let's be honest, anytime a new guy comes in with a new terminology, a new way of doing things, that takes some time to get acclimated to. But at the same point, you can't use the rookie excuse for Gardner Minshew anymore, and I think he's going to embrace that and do special things going forward.
Yeah, listen, I want to stay very true to what we talked about at the end of the season when all this thing was going down and they're coming back, Marone and Caldwell and everything. I think the two things that stick out to me after doing some work and researching and looking at teams like this that are in there is, one, you have to be bold and take some chances, and you have to hit on those chances, right? And it might only be one or two, but you have to hit on them. And secondly, until you know you've hit on the quarterback, well, exactly what you just said, you keep firing on that QB position until you find it. And they have to do it more often, and it doesn't matter whose feelings get hurt, and it doesn't matter what situation you correct. Jimmy Johnson just told me, I said it can make a messy situation, right? He said, well, that's a head coach's job to deal with the situation. And until the Jags find that guy, the Mahomes, the Garoppolo, the two guys we have here in Miami, they got to keep firing on that position until they absolutely hit it. Hey, we want to give away a PDQ gift card right now, our second one of the show. We're doing this twice a show all week long from down here in South Florida. $50 gift card. Let's go with caller number 4. I'm looking at 54 right now at the Super Bowl. So caller number 4, 904-362-9901, star 690 as well. You can jump in, $50 gift card to PDQ, and this is a great deal coming up. I've done this before. My family has done this before.
I like
and
it.
Done the 25 or 50 tenders, buy one, get one free. Excellent deal, especially if you're throwing a party on Sunday for the big game. Only good Saturday and Sunday. So this Saturday and Sunday, PDQ locations around Jacksonville, 25 or 50 chicken tender platters, and you can get buy one, get one free. And we might make it more free if you call that number right now, 904-362-9901. Give away a $50 gift card to caller number 4. We're going to take a time out here from the Super Bowl. When we get back, more football talk, of course. Plus a little ballin' and fallin'. And an interesting ballin' and fallin' question that somebody had for me. I like the topic. It's coming up before the end of the show. And why is Austin Lane such a celebrity down here? Everywhere we go.
What are you talking about, man?
I mean, it's unbelievable. Maybe it's the shirt off on the beach with Marcel and Stewart today.
Oh, dude, hey.
Bike riding.
Any chance
he
I got
fit right in on South Beach.
Any chance I got a chance, any opportunity I have a chance to soak in some cosmic rays, I'm taking full advantage of that. You can't hate me for that. It was 74 degrees outside.
It was beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yes.
Despite a little earthquake in the vicinity
Yep.
here in South Florida. It seems like everything's okay. Still checking in on that front. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 up until 6 o'clock. Live from the Super Bowl down in South Florida. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Lots of sun today, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Chilly tonight, dropping into the upper 30s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, your local diamond store for 39 years in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. During his time in the NBA, AI had some of the best handles in the game. But it appears in retirement, he gives up steals easier. Philly police are looking for a man who stole a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry that belonged to Allen Iverson, reportedly. In other news, for some reason, Allen Iverson carries a backpack with $500,000 in jewelry in it. The Super Bowl held opening ceremonies last night, introducing the two teams. Here's Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce on what makes quarterback Patrick Mahomes so special.
Just overall, his ability to read coverages, have a plan on where to go. His preparation has gone to a whole nother level. He's able to put the ball, his ball placement is through the roof.
Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
Now, the news and internet are blowing up about those do-it-yourself cameras being hacked, putting all consumers on edge. Children are being terrified while in their rooms, and mothers are being watched in their own homes, and family videos are actually being recorded and sold without the customers being aware or even compensated. These do-it-yourself doorbells are good ideas gone bad, and those stronger passwords they tell you to use, they're going to do very little to alleviate that problem. It's just plain cheap equipment lacking encryption. Don't fall for a false sense of security that could make your family less safe. SafeTouch has those cameras and video doorbells, but they are integrated into the security system. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is still the fastest way to receive emergency response. Combined with the halo of detection, your home and family can have true peace of mind when they have SafeTouch security. Now get yours by going to safetouch.com or call 888-723-8682. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years.
GALBA 004188, SCBFS 12423, BAQ, EF 000233.
Want to make this Valentine's the most romantic ever? Diamonds Direct is ready to help with an expanded selection of the most popular and most romantic gifts. And starting Saturday for a limited time, you'll get Diamonds Direct's guaranteed lowest price plus 3 years zero interest financing. Fashion rings, hoop earrings, bangles, diamond bracelets, colored gemstone pendants, stackable rings, eternity bands, and yes, even certified diamond engagement rings. Just pick any item, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 36 months with zero interest. We've teamed up with the best jewelry designers in America who'll be joining us for special trunk show events showcasing all the latest styles and fashions. So whether you're just starting out in your relationship or been together for decades, you'll find that perfect gift to celebrate your love this Valentine's at Diamonds Direct. It all starts this Saturday with 3 years zero interest financing. Check out our online gift guide now and even shop online anytime at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here, man. But I have PTSD. Should I at least try to get medical marijuana? That's legal. But if I were you, I'd talk to my doctor about qualifying conditions and to find out if medical marijuana is even right for you. Thanks. I'll talk to my doctor.
Welcome to Jacksonville's Frisch Family Holocaust Memorial Gallery. It's a free educational resource with rotating exhibits. It's so important we remember. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for remembrance. Here for Jax. Learn more at herefordjax.com.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. Now through the end of the month, Ernie Palmer Toyota has dropped prices even lower on all of our big deals. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's right, up to $500. See deal for details, ends 2/3/20.
Be bold, Jacksonville. Whether you want to be cold or hot, Bold City Heating and Air will help. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. I needed a new air conditioning system this summer and called the good folks at Bold City Heating and Air. It was worth the call. A competitive price, good communication, fantastic service. A new system is a big investment. You want a good experience. My family had that at Bold City Heating and Air. You can too. They will help you design the perfect system for your home while staying within your budget. Be bold and give Bold City Heating and Air a call or visit boldcityac.com.
So when you're shopping online, have you ever seen one of those spin the wheels to get your discount things? Well, I don't know about you, but I like a sure thing, especially when it comes to saving big money. How about you? Then don't leave your savings to chance. Leave it to Arlington Toyota and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. How about a 2019 Toyota RAV4? It's not $24,995. Now it's only $18,681. That's $18,681 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 at Arlington.
Gotta have a 2019 Toyota Highlander? It's not $32,935. No, it's $27,991. Just $27,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Highlander at Arlington. Plus, you'll get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, including lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Don't leave your savings to chance. Leave it to Arlington Toyota and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. Spin the wheel for offer details.
Now, the news and internet are blowing up about those do-it-yourself cameras being hacked, putting all consumers on edge. Children are being terrified while in their rooms, and mothers are being watched in their own homes, and family videos are actually being recorded and sold without the customers being aware or even compensated. These do-it-yourself doorbells are good ideas gone bad, and those stronger passwords they tell you to use, they're going to do very little to alleviate that problem. It's just plain cheap equipment lacking encryption. Don't fall for a false sense of security that could make your family less safe. SafeTouch has those cameras and video doorbells, but they are integrated into the security system. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is still the fastest way to receive emergency response. Combined with the halo of detection, your home and family can have true peace of mind when they have SafeTouch security. Now get yours by going to safetouch.com or call 888-723-8682. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years.
GALBA 0041888, SCBFS 12423, BAQ, EF 000233.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Almost half of the season, Gardner Minshew has won Rookie of the Week. To me, that means
I think Gardner Minshew should be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to be that.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Anytime that, a guy that you grew up, the end of my college career, I watched so much of him, and I get a compliment from him. It's pretty spectacular. But when you got a player like that who, in my opinion, is the best red zone threat in the NFL, says touchdowns left and right all the time. And just, how he leads his team with his personality. And, just watching that in college, I was like, you know what, you don't have to be, just a hard-nosed guy on the football field all the time. Like, you can be whatever personality you want to be. And being able to see that, he kind of opened the door for me and my personality and how much fun I have on the field.
That's George Kittle, tight end of the San Francisco 49ers, talking about the other really good tight end in this game, and that is Travis Kelce. It's interesting. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber back here at Super Bowl 54 in South Florida. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Half hour left in the show. A little Bowen and Fallen coming up. Got Chad Henne and our conversation last night with him at opening night coming up. But it's interesting with the tight end stuff. Think about the Super Bowls recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked a little bit about this and how desperate the Jags are for tight ends. But this game has probably made tight ends in the league just a 30% pay increase going forward.
I think it's made tight ends and fullbacks.
Really look at this. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, remarkable tight ends. Go back to the Eagles of Zach Ertz. Go back to Rob Gronkowski and the difference maker he's been all the years, including last year. It's unbelievable, really, in the last 3 years alone. And I don't even know. I got to go back even earlier than that. Who would I be talking about before 17? Who was before the Eagles and Patriots? Yeah, Gronk has been involved in so many of them.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Anybody else recently?
You can't really say Everett with the Rams.
No.
The Falcons, they have Hooper at the time?
No.
I don't know. No, they didn't have Hooper. So,
but Gronk. Gronk was in that game.
Yeah, Gronk.
Of course, Gronk's like every other year.
Well, of course, that's what it seems like, right? I'm trying to draw back.
But anyway, let's just say the last 3 years in this game, look at the tight ends in this game. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty remarkable, and it just shows you. What a gap. Yeah, the Jags have had gaps in their quarterback play. The Jags have had gaps on a lot of different other areas of of comparing them to Super Bowl teams, but the gap between Jaguars tight end production and the last 3 Super Bowls and their tight end production, holy cats, it's massive. I'm not saying if you get a good tight end, you automatically go to the Super Bowl. But it's unbelievable if you weigh it against what the Jaguars have had and their production from that spot.
It was fascinating talking to Andy Reid last night when I asked him, about his offense and why it's always high-powered, it seems like. And he was a big proponent of the tight end position. And he mentioned Travis Kelce when Patrick Mahomes is coming in. The tight end position, especially the way Andy Reid run things, it's that safety net. It's that safety blanket to make the quarterback feel a little comfortable. And the thing with tight ends, especially the great ones, like the George Kittles, like the Rob Gronkowskis, like the Travis Kelces, is they're the ultimate mismatch, right? You can't put a corner on them because they're too big. You can't put a linebacker on them because they're too fast. So when you have mismatches like that, well, then you have openings. When you have openings, you can expose teams, and I think that's what Andy Reid's been able to do, obviously, with Travis Kelce, and then obviously Shanahan as well in San Francisco with George Kittle.
Well, think about even the Jags in 17, who had their finest year in a decade, and Mercedes Lewis was big. Had 5 touchdowns for him that year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the most production Jags have had out of that spot in forever. And James O'Shaughnessy, I think, came up big that year on several occasions. They still weren't loaded. I mean, the thing about significant plays, Ben Koyak even catches the touchdown against Buffalo to help win that football game.
Sure.
It's really, I mean, it sounds foolish to me to say the Jaguars won't be good or good enough or great until they find a tight end or two. But, wow, it certainly adds up recently in the NFL that you have to have a tight end or two to have a chance.
No, it does absolutely add up, and that's why it was such a high premium this past draft. You have guys like Noah Fant, T.J. Hawkinson. I mean, T.J. Hawkinson was the highest tight end taken because he was that two-way guy, right? He's a guy that was great in the run game, and then you could kind of split him out and be a receiver as well. Now, granted, he got hurt a little bit, so the proof still is yet to remain seen if T.J. Hawkinson's going to be the real deal or not. But, like, Noah Fant is another prime example. He kind of turned it around with Drew Lock a little bit, right? Also, here comes Drew Lock, a guy that no one was really talking about, and he kind of finds a swagger a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, Broncos fans are excited for Drew Lock going forward, and Noah Fant had a lot to do with that. So if you can find that right tight end, and it's funny how even, the days of Mercedes Lewis, it has changed now to the modern era tight end, right? Where Mercedes Lewis was so celebrated because he's one of the best run-blocking tight ends of all time, in my opinion. I had to go against him every single day in practice. I didn't look forward to it, all right?
You'll never get love for that, but it was true.
Absolutely. And it made me a better player because when I was going against different opponents, their tight ends couldn't hold a candle to Mercedes Lewis in the run game. Well, now you're not really seeing like a high, I guess, prestige of run-blocking tight ends. Like, yeah, you need them here or there, but it's not coveted like I think it used to be, right? You're mostly seeing tight ends split out and things like that. But also what tight ends can do now in the run game is they can seal block. They can use some of their finesse more than actually the power of blowing somebody back like a Rob Gronkowski, just like Travis Kelce does. George Kittle's a little more of a physical guy, but you're seeing these tight ends like Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper. They're using their smarts. You don't have to be the strongest guy. You don't have to have a high bench press. You just got to seal the backside tight end off, and they do a great job of that.
Yeah, the only wish I had for this game, I do wish Green Bay kind of was in it for Mercedes Lewis. I mean, I know people listening to you wish Green Bay was in it for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But it would have been pretty cool, dozen years into his career, for Mercedes Lewis to get to a Super Bowl. I think that he put on a lot of equity in Jacksonville to get to that stage. It would have been pretty cool.
And especially what the Jaguars asked him to do, right? I mean, obviously he's probably on the back nine of his career right now. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. But, with playing every single rep in the run game, in the pass game, I mean, that can take a toll on your body, right? Now you're seeing tight ends that are just primarily receivers, but Mercedes Lewis is that old throwback. He's the guy that did it all. And I attribute to him for doing that because he's kind of like the last of a dying breed, really.
All right, kind of lost in the game because, well, probably won't play and won't be an impact, is the backup quarterback in this football game, and that's Chad Henne. Former Jaguar quarterback, started for a bit from Michigan to the Miami Dolphins, so he's back home here where his NFL career started, up to Jacksonville for a few years, and gave way and helped tutor and try to fix and help Blake Bortles. So a big part of Jacksonville for a few years there was Chad Henne. Good guy, and was given multiple opportunities to start in the league and just couldn't make the most of it. Never really cashed it in completely. And in Miami and in Jacksonville, I think you could make the case he wasn't always surrounded with the best, but he still had plenty of opportunities. Goes to Kansas City, and now really just watching one of the all-time great performances the last couple of years of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And smiling and having fun with it all. We caught up with him last night at opening night. Always good to see Chad Henne, and he's got a front row seat to the latest phenomenon in the NFL, and that is Patrick Mahomes.
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Congratulations. How fun is this?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, great team, great coaches, and to be back where it all started for me, couldn't be any happier.
Yeah, you did have the health issue early on. I mean, how did you heal throughout all that, and what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough process. I mean, you break your ankle, you tear some ligaments, and you don't know if you're going to come back. And, luckily enough, the rehab and our trainers got me right, and was able to come back after week 8. So it's been a whirlwind, but at the same time, you appreciate the hard work that you put in, and whatever the team needs, you just go out there and help them out.
How much in general now at your age, you've been around this thing a while, do you just appreciate the whole journey from the people asking you about Miami to us asking you about Jacksonville, and now finally ending up here where it's the pinnacle of the sport?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a whole, life story of my career, and, it's a whirlwind, comes back, but I tell everybody it's just about relationships and networking. I mean, the people that you've come across from different backgrounds and everything, and it all comes together for one reason, to win football games. It's a special thing, and it's a special thing to be a part of. You've seen it work, obviously, here. You've seen it not work in other places. Of course, we're trying to figure it out back in Jacksonville. Why isn't it working? Can you explain it, how it does work sometimes? Is it simply players, or is there more to it? I mean, it's everything. I mean, it's coaching staff, it's players, it's the community coming together. It's just a bond that you just can't really express. I mean, we're a tight-knit group here in Kansas City, and, we're just out there just trying to play ball like we're kids, and we're having fun doing it. And I think if you stick to the truth and believe in the process and just go out there and play your game like you're a kid, it kind of just works out. That being said, it is a pretty darn good team, and how crazy good is this offense? I mean, from all the football you've played in your life, it looks like a video game from afar. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch other offenses, I'll tell you, when you're part of this. You got speed, you got size, you got talent. I mean, it's ridiculous, and we can exploit anything you want. Run the ball, throw the ball, screen game. Defense is playing really well right now, but yeah, we definitely have the players to put the ball in their hands and let them go do the things. Does Bieniemy get enough credit for all? I mean, there's Reed, obviously, and there's Mahomes, and there's all these stars, but how much credit does he deserve? Yeah, Coach Bieniemy is awesome. I mean, he does a phenomenal job. Everybody's giving him critique. He doesn't call the plays, but that's Andy's thing. He calls the plays, but at the same time, EB's on the side giving him plays too. I mean, there's a whole coaching staff that are giving him plays, so there's a process that they do, and EB's done a phenomenal job. He really grabs hold of the offense, gets attention, and gets guys where they need to be, and installs a phenomenal job. You ever look back and wonder what went wrong in Jacksonville at all when it doesn't go right, whether it's Miami, Jacksonville, other places? Yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes, injuries play a factor. Sometimes, it's just players not making plays. You put it on yourself as a player. Coaching goes into it as well. It's just a whole, commemorative thing. It's just, you can't really explain. I mean, everybody has a part in it, and if you're not doing your job and you're not doing it well, you're not going to win games in this league. Still in touch with a lot of guys, Blake and all those guys? Yeah, I mean, I just talked to Blake this week, so still in contact with them. Happy for him out there in LA. Hopefully he gets another opportunity, but, really, really happy for him. That was Chad Henne, Jacksonville Jaguars backup quarterback, starting quarterback for a time, now the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback or backup quarterback. Hey, Kuz, we still on over there? That was certainly sudden.
Yeah, you're good.
Sure. Okay, good. All right, thanks. I was following along because I was like, well, that's not the end of the interview, so I wanted to make sure that I asked him about his shoes. That's where I thought the end would be, and then I didn't know for sure if we were still on. He had these funky shoes on. They were like red. He had all different colors on them. Huh. Do you know what kind they were? No, but he had said that he was like, he didn't want to wear the shoes they asked him to wear because they were goofy looking. He didn't like them. He consulted with his wife, and he said, I'm going with these instead.
Okay. But, so the shoes that he was wearing, they're multicolored, though?
They're primarily white, but they had some, I actually thought it might be for a charity.
Oh,
because they had multiple colors on it at one time. So
interesting.
That was Chad Henne, backup quarterback, front row seat for Patrick Mahomes. In a weird situation, right, for a QB in this game, a backup QB, you always want to play. And if you get a chance to come in, you're like, I'm going to do the job.
Sure.
But come on, there's not a person in Kansas City that wants to see Chad Henne in that football game on Sunday. And I think if you put Chad Henne on a lie detector test, it would be tough to say, I want to see myself in that game if I want to win, because Patrick Mahomes gives you the best chance to win, no doubt.
Well, yeah, of course. And Gardner Minshew kind of said the same thing early in his career about Nick Foles. Yeah, I mean, Chad Henne knows what's going on. I think everybody knows what's going on, and I think he's happy to be a part of it. He's happy to help where he can. He's happy to contribute. And at the end of the day, if they do in fact win the Super Bowl, I mean, Chad Henne can lay his head down tonight knowing that he had a big part of why the Chiefs were successful. So yeah, I think that's all he's trying to get out of it. I don't think he's trying to play anything. So.
No, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just a weird spot. If you're any other player on that team, you can play a snap or two, special teams, anything else, and you can play a role, and it's a good thing. It's a cool thing. You want to. You're begging them to.
Yeah.
Backup QB, not necessarily, which is one of the unique positions in all of sports because of it. Hey, Stuart Weber, jump on with us for a minute or two. Slide over. I know you're editing for tonight's CBS 47, Fox 30 TV shows. But it's time to get to the bottom of just how big of a celebrity Austin Lane is here at Super Bowl 50.
Where are we getting this from?
Huge.
Well, everywhere we go,
yeah,
it's like, well, first of all, like, you're a noticeable guy, right?
Sure.
Like, do I have to be careful saying that? Noticeable guy? Yeah, guy with a big beard.
Oh, no,
dreads.
listen, I've told
you
this.
got Vans on that are about 14 years old. I don't even know why anybody comes around.
Oh,
you
dude, but don't worry, man. Actually, I put them through the washer, so they're good to go now.
That makes them clean.
And I'm rocking the jean shorts, so we're all good, man.
So we'll share the story. But last week at the Senior Bowl, we were there Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you know a lot of the folks over there. You run into NFL. You're in NFL circles. So
of course, man. Yeah, I know some coaches.
Not only that, but on the media day on Tuesday, when we're interviewing other players and you're catching up with Golden Gandy and Vaughn from Wisconsin, there's a TV station from Wisconsin that wants to interview you.
Yeah.
So you get interviewed during the media day for the Senior Bowl. No, you're no longer a senior. You're closer to a senior citizen than you are a senior.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Brent. I graduated like 3 years ago, man.
Matter, but
Come
you
on.
can't go back. You can't go back and play that game. So your next step is more senior citizen than the senior in the Senior Bowl.
Look, we're having an intervention right now. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Ready for the senior games?
Okay, so then on top of that, I mean, everywhere we go, what were you called the other day? Come on, tell them.
Tall Jesus.
Hey, tall Jesus.
Yeah, tall Jesus.
You get looks like all the time. And
yeah, I don't know.
You ever get, yeah, you do.
Okay.
Right? It's 6'6".
Sure.
And so
I tend to blend in a little easier.
So
people don't say I look like anybody.
Yeah, no. We blend
whatever, dude. We're getting looks on the bike, man. People are impressed with what we have to offer.
I mean,
we had a crew. Now you might have attracted some looks on the bike. You like purposely took your shirt off and stuff. You just were trying to fit in.
I was trying to fit in at South Beach for sure, but dude, I'm not opposed to getting some sun, getting a tan, man. That's what I'm all about.
If you invest that much in tattoos, you're
gonna show them off.
That's true. That is the one thing about tattoos.
That's exactly why I got them.
That's it. As an investment to show off on South Beach.
So once I do get that tattoo,
oh, Brent, depending where it is.
I'm just gonna walk around shirtless all the time.
I would, dude.
Yeah, well,
if that's where it's at.
Let it fly, man. Let it fly, man. Be
on
proud.
Where the tattoo is.
Be confident.
You got to show it off.
Be confident.
Confidence is key.
Paid a few $100s for that thing.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask DJ Chark that.
Oh, it's tattoos.
I'm convinced DJ Chark got more tattoos on his left arm.
Yeah. If he's listening right now, let us know.
I gotta ask the Jags PR
follow
or something. I gotta follow.
And the sad thing was, I was gonna ask him that question, but you brought it up, so I was gonna leave it to you, and then I completely spaced on it. So, yeah.
Son of a gun.
What are you gonna do?
I want to do that. Sorry, we're
sorry,
talking
listeners.
out
We're
loud
gonna bring
right
you
now.
that information.
But anyway, so last night we're at opening night.
Sure.
And you got interviewed again.
A couple times.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Like. This doesn't surprise you at all that you're like in the media doing the interviewing now, but now you're getting interviewed still all the time?
Well, I mean, like you said, I think being tall and like having a distinctive look, I guess, kind of helps a little bit. But like there were interviews that were like one interview was from a hometown like station, a TV station, so that was cool. And the other interview was from like a Latina network that just was intrigued by, I guess, my height because I was a former athlete. They thought, which I'm like, yeah, I was a former athlete. And then we talked about dancing and gyrating hips like Shakira, and which I wasn't going to do at all. Wasn't in the mood for. I was kind of tired and worn down, and wasn't going to play along.
Hence the earthquake.
But I mean, I don't know. I consider myself kind of a social person too. Like if I see someone that looks cool to talk to, I'm going to talk to him, man. And then sometimes that leads to interviews.
Here's the thing: Austin is in the sweet spot of interviewing at an event like that. You've got all these people trying to get all these players.
Yeah.
So they're all occupied. You've got these super famous not players they've all got people around them blocking them from doing all these
like
interviews.
The wrestlers.
Like the wrestlers, yeah. King Corbin and Roman Reigns were there. So
Talked
they
to them
got
both
handlers,
last night. Yeah.
Marcel is his handler.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's not going to do anything but take selfies. So it really leaves it. Oh, it's not fair. He's got headphones in. He can't hear me right now. But
I'm going to tell him what you said.
You're right. You're right in that sweet spot to where it's like, okay, you look like an athlete, and you look approachable enough to where I could interview you and make my job a little easier on myself.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll never turn down an interview, man. Because like I said, it's just
exactly it right there.
It's just a chance to talk as far as I'm concerned and share ideas. Because like what I love talking to people and gaining knowledge. Like that's what I'm all about, man. So whether there's a microphone in front of my face or not, I just love sitting down with people and BSing basically.
You're in the right business.
I'm just telling you, we might need to bring a handler from now on.
Brent,
I mean, everywhere we go, don't act
like we don't go to TPC and I have tendonitis in my hand from snapping pictures of you and fans the whole time.
Well, that's
okay,
just
so
one place. I mean, that's just 1 week. That's my week.
That's Brent's sweet spot.
All right?
That is Brent's sweet spot.
Yep.
And it's coming up soon enough.
Oh,
by the
I
way,
can't wait.
congratulations to the PGA Tour. Over $3 billion
with a B
for charities. $3 billion.
Billion
and
with
the
a B.
Players' Championship
Sweet, man. Good
is
stuff.
around $9 million, $10 million a year to that
pool
annually. So incredible. We know what the PGA Tour and the Players' Championship has done back in Jacksonville to so many different charities. And hats off to them. Hats off to the PGA Tour. And we feel it, too. Hats off to our charities, Action Sports Jack Stream 18. They've been a part of it along the way, so we appreciate it. All right. I could have had you balling again, just being
thanks,
your own.
man.
You know what we need to do, though?
Yeah.
We should just roll you around Radio Row and be like, hey, want to talk to Austin Lane? Want to talk to Austin Lane? ESPN 690, former Jags player, MMA guy.
I feel like he has more credentials than some of the people that are rolling around here.
That's fair
Ooh,
point.
shots have been fired.
You notice how he said that very quietly?
I know, right? You're scared. It's okay.
They
Don't worry
are.
about it.
Well, we might need them on the air tomorrow.
let's just say that I'm Jason Momoa's stunt double or something like that.
That's
See where that
it,
gets us.
Sometimes you have to fill time.
Yeah.
We try not.
We
to do
don't
that
this
here.
week. We got a ton of
We got
great stuff.
plenty of
Yeah.
All right, and
Interviews
we
that
come
matter.
back. A little balling and falling. Finish
All the
up a
balling.
show on a Tuesday and send you into the evening. Hopefully you're having a good day, everybody. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 rolls on from Super Bowl 54 right after this.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Gonna give me some of that Kuz.
It's unreal.
That's the most impressive thing Kuz has ever done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here on the show.
That was very nice.
It's the best use of star 690 ever.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Connecticut system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Find out how you can get a free Connecticut A200 RO this month by calling 904-694-2424. Make sure you tell them Brent sent you and visit cgcwater.com as well, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
We all love the holidays when the family and friends come to visit and share time just being together. But afterwards, the house needs a makeover when everyone has gone home. It's time to call Zero Res. They will come clean up the carpets, the area rugs, the sofa that everyone took a nap on, and the tile and grout in the kitchen. Zero Res, the right way to clean. I use Zero Res at my house, and it's amazing. Everyone loves Zero Res. We all know that. Don't take my word. Google Zero Res and read the customer reviews for yourself. Over 2,500 reviews with 4.9 stars. Zero Res is the right way to clean. Call today and have 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Mention WOKV and get your kitchen tile cleaned for free. That's right, the kitchen tile is free. Some restrictions apply, so call Zero Res at 287-5727. That's 287-5727. Zero Res, the right way to clean.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay. without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
The Players Championship has partnered with UNF and FSCJ by creating scholarship endowments at each school. By the completion of the endowments, the Players will be the largest scholarship provider in the Jacksonville area. It's 41 days until the Players.
Do what we do and chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. They're my favorite wings in town. People love them at our ESPN 690 party to celebrate a year. You can just celebrate good wings, good food, and a fun atmosphere at Mr. Chubby's Wings. So many flavors to choose from. But you know what my favorite is, the Maple Cajun. Go give it a try. Drink specials, a full menu, and lots of TVs to watch any sport. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island.
Ernie Palmer Toyota's store-wide big deals just got better. They've dropped prices lower than ever. Plus, Ernie Palmer will match your down payment up to $500. That's Ernie Palmer Toyota.
It's the Jacksonville Auto Show at the Prime Osborne, February 14th through 16th. From luxury to rugged, vehicles are more electrifying, efficient, enhanced, and economical. See iconic race cars from the Brumos collection, pet adoptions with Subaru, free Hot Wheels for the kids. Meet Peter Rabbit on Saturday. Enter for a chance to win a grand of Citgo Tri-Clean gasoline. The Auto Show, 3 days only, February 14th through the 16th. Free parking from ViStar Credit Union. Discount coupons at gate gas stations. Tickets at jacksautoshow.com.
It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and it can be your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210, family-owned and operated, and a fun course to play. The Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facility and player-friendly golf course design, it will be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. Become a member in 2020. For more information, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY. Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, this is Grayson Marshall Jr., 2016 ACC legend, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
We have a lot of weapons, I'll say that. I mean, and we've went out there and scored a lot of points, put a lot of good tape out there, so now it's about playing a really, really good defense and just playing the way we know how we can play.
That is Patrick Mahomes, of course, Kansas City quarterback, getting a lot of love, a lot of attention, and deservedly so. He's been fantastic, really fun to watch these first couple years in the NFL, and might be tough to beat on Sunday. We'll see how he is under pressure. The tighter team in the playoffs has certainly been Kansas City. It's like they felt a lot of pressure to win. I think that goes away in this game because they needed to get here. We'll see. You'd think with an Andy Reid team, the looseness and all that, they wouldn't be tight. But in the early part of games, they've been tight in the postseason. But again, I think that was more of we've got to get by last year. We can't lose again in the AFC Championship game. And then on top of that, it couldn't blow the opportunity they had because Baltimore lost, so they got home field advantage in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and especially we're talking about the fast starts. You have to have a fast start against San Francisco because the way they're designed is they can beat you so many different ways. And if Kansas City was to come out flat like they have the past 2 games, San Francisco might, put their foot on the gas and never look back. So it is an important game, obviously, from the standpoint of Kansas City has to, not have those foolish turnovers, not those foolish penalties, and come out right away and smack, the 49ers in the mouth. So I do agree with you. They have started the past couple games. It's going to be important to to go forward, get off to a fast start. And, to me, this is, and we'll talk about it more during the week, Brent, but this is such an intriguing matchup because you know what Kansas City is bringing to the table, right? You know Kansas City is going to put up points. You know Patrick Mahomes is going to throw to Travis Kelce, to Tyreek Hill. They're going to get Williams involved in the run game a little bit, but let's be honest. They're going to pass the ball all around the field. That's what Kansas City does. They're high-powered. They're high-octane. But the big question mark is if you're San Francisco, what do you do? because you're known for running the ball, for slowing the game down if you want, but you also have that high-powered offense, Deebo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders, where you can maybe go toe-to-toe with Kansas City and make it a high-scoring affair. And I understand right now Vegas and all the betting experts are talking about it being a high-scoring game, which it very well could be, but one has to wonder as well if you're San Francisco, you have the power to run the ball. Do you slow the game down a little bit? Do you try to get Patrick Mahomes off the field and control the clock?
All right, we're going to get out of here in a couple minutes. Renna's Pizza, a big game party coming up this weekend. We're giving it away with Renna's Pizza and ESPN 690. 30-second commercial. Here's how it works. So you got to jump in. We want you to play along. Austin Lane is going to deliver your pizza to your party. And it's not just pizza, by the way. You'll get much more stuff. And you'll get Austin Lane to deliver it to you. You leave it on our ESPN 690 social media platforms, or call it in, ** 690. You have to make a 30-second commercial for your party on Sunday. Keywords, you have to include Renna's, ESPN 690, party, and pizza. That's it. That's the deal. Renna's, ESPN 690, party, and pizza. And a 30-second or less commercial. And call it in on * 690 or leave it on our ESPN 690 social media platforms. We'll announce a winner on Friday. We need you to play along, have some fun with it, much like we did with the Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue, Jags, fill in the blank, that we did last year. And, hey, maybe we just adopt your commercial for your party.
I like it, man. Let's do it, man. Yeah, I mean,
like the idea.
It's on the table for anybody to use.
All right, Ballin' and Fallin'.
Sure.
I don't know if you have anything else, but we got a listener and viewer of the show asked me this question. I thought it was great. Tiger Woods' 2020 season.
Sure.
Will it be ballin' or fallin' relative to his 2019 year, where he burst back on the scene, won the Masters, had a pretty nice fall as well, President's Cup, all that stuff. Will it be ballin' or fallin' in 2020 versus 2019? What say you?
Man, I mean, I don't know. To say he's going to have a better year than last year where he won the Masters, you know, the creme de la creme of the golfing tournaments, it's hard to say. But you know what, man? I'm not going to ever count Tiger out, so – well, here's the question, Brent. If he wins a major this year, is that even, or does it have to be the Masters again?
No, I think a major would count. And here's what I say.
Go ahead.
Thought about that. I almost went falling because I think it's so hard to do what he did last year.
Yeah.
And winning the Masters was epic. It was huge, massive. I think he is playing good enough golf to win a major again. I don't know if he will, but I feel like he'll be more consistent. Mm-hmm. I feel like he could have more of a 2013 kind of year. Remember, he went kind of away a little bit after the Masters. It was tough to rebound for him. It was almost like that was so big that he didn't play great golf for a few months after.
Yeah.
So I think his consistency this year, his game overall, might add up to more of a 2013 year and a better year overall. And so I'm going to say ballin' for that, although it's so hard to plug in a major in any year.
Sure.
No matter how anybody is. So I'm going to say ballin'. We both say ballin'. What you got for ballin' and fallin'?
Real quick, ballin'. Going out to Billie Eilish. If you remember back, you probably don't, but probably 3 months into the show, I had the whiteboard action. I actually wrote on it, and I said Billie Eilish for all the Grammy Awards. Well, guess what? Billie Eilish was at the Grammys on Sunday, took home 5 Grammy Awards. I'm a big Billie Eilish fan just from the standpoint of she's different, she's unique, she's weird, it rubs people the wrong way, but I'm all for, just being yourself, letting your freak flag fly, if you will, and Billie Eilish definitely does that. So props to her on getting her 5 Grammy Awards.
All right, you got to follow it all?
Following real quick. So last night there was an intervention. I drove 6 hours essentially for an intervention of why I should get Instagram. It was a round table of about 3 of my closest peers and another gentleman I just met, trying to talk me into getting
Gill,
Instagram.
I think is his name.
Yeah, I'm not
Wrote
getting
a book
Instagram.
on Instagram.
He wrote a book on Instagram.
Gave it to you.
I'm gonna read the book. I'm not getting Instagram. Not now. Not ever. And it is what it is.
Read the book and maybe you'll change your mind. Cause Austin's might be getting on the gram.
Nah. See, not if you keep calling it the gram.
All right, much more to come on the TV side. CBS 47, Fox 30 coming up tonight from Super Bowl 54. By the way, we're okay down here with the earthquake stuff. We're okay. Well, more to come tomorrow. Business really heats up right here at the Convention Center on Wednesday. Many, many more interviews, including ones we've already done for you the rest of the week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. What are we? Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Yeah.
On the
We've
road.
only been saying it for a year and a half. You're good, though, dude.
On the road at Super Bowl 54. Have a good night.